Hello? God damn it. I always pause. I always pause to give Valentin a moment to say something stupid.
River, when you pause, you give us an opening.
I was pausing. No, I paused without actually unmuting just because I know Valentin will say something stupid as the very first thing of the stream. Valtria, I'm very disappointed in you.
You know how
No, you're not disappointed in me. You love me. Don't even.
Alright, give me a moment, chat. I have to set up Riley's token while I'm going to do so. It's been a while since we all played, and I know I've made you do this like every time, but go ahead, chat. I'd like you all to reintroduce yourselves real quick.
Starting with?
I don't fucking know. Figure it out amongst yourselves.
Okay, hi, I'm Valtria, the stinky bird. I do lots of ASMR and D&D content. Usually not on my own channel that I do the D&D content, but I do love it and love talking about it a lot. Yeah, I just got back from a trip to the UK, which was really fun. Sorry that I'm the cause of last week's session not happening. Thank you for all waiting on me. Beck and call. Love you. Next.
Rye. Alphabetically, Rye is next.
What is this alphabet? Yes, I'm Riley. I'm an Oath of Conquest Paladin, and I primarily stream Final Fantasy XIV. But at the moment, I'm playing a bunch of WoW and Pokemon.
Excellent introduction. Undyne, alphabetically, you're next.
You don't know your alphabet.
I don't.
Also, I'm Undyne. I'm a Siren VTuber. I'm still racking my brains about. Yeah, R comes after you in the alphabet. Sure. I sing. I play games. I am gay. And
whoa.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, so incredible. Shit. Basically the first ever VTuber to be gay. It's so iconic. Yeah, and I have a lot of fun playing D&D here. I'm a big nerd.
Next up is Sarah.
I'm Sarah. I'm a Fallen Angel VTuber. I'm on like a little mini hiatus right now, but we're here playing some D&D. I like to sniff. I have a lot of bodily functions and fluids, and we're fun.
He likes to sniff.
Thank you, Sarah. Also, for those of you
bodily fluids,
those of you using emotes in the chat, you should now see that they are plummeting down from the sky and then hitting us all in the head. So that's a cool little thing that I figured out that I could add. So if you use an emote in the chat, it will appear and attack me and the players. All right, and with everyone's introductions done.
See how he paused? No, see how he paused because he wanted us to bring me up? But honestly, I don't need to introduce myself.
Can we also bring up the fact that he decided alphabetically that V didn't go with V? And
oh no, he had decided to skip me from the beginning, which he thought was really funny.
Cheeky
bastard. The alphabet also apparently goes VRUS.
Yeah,
exactly.
VRUSV.
Yeah, spell it backwards. What do you get?
Sounds like an STD acronym.
Spell it backwards. What do you get? Exactly. Valentin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Huh? I don't need any introduction. I thought you made that clear.
Alright. As always, if you want to support the stream, you can do so there. Any $5 on the Ko-Fi or subscriber, whether it's a new one, an old one, or a gifted one, earns a player an inspiration, and they're going to need it tonight. I'm also feeling a little under the weather, chat, so I was pretty sick the other day. I'm still a little sick. Sarah's really enjoying that, huh?
Yes.
I'm still a little sick, but hopefully I'll be healing and on the mend pretty soon. The VTT of choice that I use is Fantasy Grounds. We're an affiliate with them. You can go there. Anything you make earns... anything you purchase, I earn a small commission off of. Lastly, although this game is invite only, I do have a lot of other campaigns running right now. Those are the places to join them. We just started a new one, Tomb of Annihilation, which Valentin is in. So if you ever wanted to play with the man, the myth, the legend, that's where you do so. Any other? What else do I normally do? Right, also I already put it up, but I'm going to do it again. This is our lovely cast. Make sure to follow them all. Give them your support. I'm being attacked by Twerk.
You don't want to be attacked by Djibouti?
I mean, I don't mind da booty. Give me a moment, just gotta set the future text over here. We will be getting underway.
Gotta add in some pussy too. I hate it, I'm sorry.
What?
Wow.
Kitties,
Okay.
kitties, kitties. Kitty.
Let's have someone do the recap. Valentin, because I shafted you on your introduction. Why don't you do the recap?
Last session, we... Oh no, actually, we did a puzzle last session.
You did. You solved the puzzle.
Lloyd was feeling extra affectionate towards Valentin, which made Valentin a lot happier.
I forgot about Boys' Night.
Boys' Night was back in town. We had a puzzle, and we had entered a chamber in which had a bunch of writing, as every chamber always has, and eventually we started figuring out that there was a puzzle involving a bunch of different ancient coffins in which a creature had been interred, I guess. And we had to activate each of the coffins to spell the word shield, because that was the answer to a riddle. After we activated it, we were attacked by said creatures, so I'm very happy that we didn't decide to go for Bronze Dragon.
Bronze Dragon was real, by the way. It was absolutely a Bronze Dragon in there.
Yeah. But we did have to go up against a... it was the walking brain.
Intellect Devourer.
An Intellect Devourer, it was not a saber-toothed tiger because we got the other, the easier version. Basically every creature spelled out the word shield, okay? Well, one letter of the word shield. And after we finished that puzzle, and Lloyd nearly got killed trying to protect Valentin, because they're so much better buddies now, after he put on a different accent. Really weird. We are now finding ourselves in a chamber. Well, I say we, but it's mostly Sarah, because Sarah rushed ahead.
Sarah also used wild magic and turned very large.
Oh yeah, that's why he's...
Woman!
Giant woman.
We had a...
She's huge.
Yeah, she's big now. So yeah, we now find ourselves in the chamber with something ancient that's coming out of a coffin, and we're surrounded by soldiers. And when I say soldiers, I mean like undead soldiers, not real soldiers, you know. So yeah, I think that's about it.
So, that's actually pretty correct. Let's go ahead and kick the music off into something a little bit more intense. Serario, it is your turn. You have come running into this room to escape the displacer beast that currently Dee Dee is holding off in a small alleyway on her own, buying you all time to get further into the tomb and away from it. On your left side, you hear the shattering of 7 coffins, as not only do the lids fly off, like they have in all the other cases, the coffins entirely shatter, crumbling to just broken stonework. A group of warriors, armed and armored in very, very old style ceremonial gear and armor. They have long spears with a huge curve at the tip, are all standing there at attention. In the middle of them all, you should see the token. I don't think that you can really see the others too well, but you should see what appears to be a undead wizard of sorts. Thick robes coating with the 8 different... Is it 8 or is it 7? I always forget. The certain number, either 8 or 7, of the various schools of magic emblazoned all across. Meanwhile, to your right, you hear the same exact sounds of coffins shattering open. But over here, the soldiers are all armed with battle axes that they hold out in front of them, and they seem to be wearing more ready for combat armor. A creature made entirely of shadow stands above its shattered coffin, and then directly to the north of you, you can see that a tall, shirtless, undead figure is pulling itself out of the coffin. Dressed in regal robes, with a crown on its head that's missing a pearl. Xandra, are you able to see this? You are.
I can only see the big boy.
Yeah. The big boy's crown has a hole in it where it's clearly missing a gemstone that looks almost exactly the same size and shape of another one.
Perfect.
In his other hand, one hand's holding the crown, the other hand is holding a long, curved blade crackling with magical energy. You can carry on your turn, Sarah. You haven't done an action yet, you've only moved.
Okay, my friends, especially the one who's the closest
Think before
to
you
me. What should we do first?
Right,
Since I obviously stepped on the trap.
I wish we had.
Since I can see the wizard, and I can see the hole, like this thing missing in like the space in his crown. Can I make? I'd like to roll to make the connection. Because one, my character's just not very smart. Can I roll to make the connection that the missing gem is the same one that we gave to Quickly?
You can easily just make that assumption.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say you might be able to recognize the name.
Okay, so if I can make that. Sarah, before you attack, we have the gemstone that goes in his crown. Perhaps we can, I don't know, talk to him. I don't know. Maybe we don't need to fight.
Talk to him.
Try not to make yourself seem like a threat, if that's what we're doing.
Okay. So just
hold on. Let me get this from Clank Clank.
we're just gonna chill for a second, right? Okay. How, as a friend, do I chill for a second?
Don't attack?
Technically wise, as in like the butt.
Diplomacy? Like,
Yeah,
or
diplomacy.
not?
You could try diplomacy.
Yeah.
Like, you could attempt to act diplomatically and just maybe go to a...
Is he speaking Draconic?
No.
What?
They haven't spoken yet. We don't know that it speaks Draconic, but
Riley,
do
we
know
need
that
you.
What do you mean? Do you know
Oh, I see the typing, but I didn't actively hear that what the big boy was doing speaksies.
As the undead
translate for Sarah.
crawls out of its coffin, Lloyd, it speaks. Mostly, its first words are very clearly threatening towards you, loud and powerful sounding, with a hint of confusion. With a hint of confusion in it. But then as Xandra speaks to Sarario, the creature's brows narrow down. The glow in its eyes fades a little bit, and it's very clearly, its undead voice has the tone of just, it doesn't seem to understand what's going on.
Wait, hang on. I thought it was like a skeleton.
Nope, it's a big undead similar to a mummy, but not quite.
I was like, he furrows his brows. What is this, Skeletor?
Can I
It looks
make
like a dragon too, right?
I'd like... Well,
Yes.
it's not my turn.
Yep,
Oh, wait,
he's a
wait, oh, wait.
draconic. He's a dragonborn, clearly. Well, was before his death.
Technical
Lloyd,
question.
what
What should I press?
Well, we could speak as a free action and ask. Lloyd, what the hell is he saying?
No, I was gonna make a check, but it's not my turn.
You cannot because we're still in the middle of combat, so checks can't be made right now. Serario,
Yeah,
in the combat
exactly.
tracker, top right under tools, the 2 crossed swords, you're going to hit the end turn button, which looks like a dragon head with an arrow.
I got that. I didn't know if there was another activity I had to press.
Dee Dee,
Right.
meanwhile, the Displacer Beast still very much is trying to tear chunks out of you, and you've eaten up a lot of healing because I remember you were at nothing, but you're not certain how much longer you're going to be able to hold it off for. It's hurt pretty badly, you think. It's hard to tell with its constantly, illusion going on.
But there was gas filling up in the room. That's why we all started getting the fuck out.
Oh,
Yep.
That's right. Hang on, let me look at my shit. Okay.
Did it
I
raise
think
those?
I'm gonna wait. Toll the Dead is just I can back off and cast Toll the Dead, but I'm gonna start like easing my way towards. But wait, it's gonna get an AOE though if I do that, right?
You would have to disengage as an action.
Okay. I'm not on the map, by the way. Oh, wait, hang on. There is a way for me to do this.
Mhm.
I always forget though, because you always do it for me.
You're very
I don't know
spoiled.
what I'm doing. Yes, please, please.
Alright, let me get it for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. If it looks like it's getting lower health-wise, I think I'm gonna try to take another chunk out of it. I'm going to attack.
Remember, you can always see on its token if you're capable of seeing the little bubble, or
Yeah,
on
I know,
the
it's
combat
it's
tracker.
orange.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
currently taken heavy damage.
Yep. But it's not close to death. But it's still, I don't want it to chase down.
Percentage-wise,
party.
it's doing worse off than Lloyd, who only has 8
Yeah.
hit points left.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
I have to target. God, every time we do this, it feels like a new thing.
The bell gives a quiet ring, but the beast makes it save, not taking any damage. You can still run away from it, but you will provoke an AOO.
It does attack
Alright,
at
I think I
disadvantage
have-
though.
Why is it attacking at
Just looking to see
disadvantage?
if I
Oh
can-
yeah, it is, because
Oh.
it's stuck
Oh,
in the tight hallway. This is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have to roll again?
It's got
No.
a big squeeze.
Oh.
No, it
It
attacks.
attacks with disadvantage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I'm just trying to see if I have a bonus action to try to hack at it again.
I think you've used up all your uses of that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna back off.
Okay. One of its tentacles lashes out at you.
Okay.
Not the tentacles.
Yes, the tentacle, please. Either way, I win.
Deidre didn't stay behind to let us escape. Deidre didn't stay behind because she saw tentacles. I get
Yeah,
it.
you know the wait. Oh, I don't remember what the
pants have fallen
isekai
down.
is. With what's the isekai with Aqua in it? Starts with a D. I'm the character who's the knight that's a masochist.
Oh,
I'm a
yeah,
paladin
you're-
that loves
It,
getting
yeah,
punished.
you're
it
from
does not. It does not start with a D.
Yes,
It's Konosuba.
yes.
That's a K.
Konosuba. I don't know why I'm thinking D.
We all know why you were thinking.
No,
the
I
D.
think the knight.
Oh
thing
yeah,
starts
yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah, yeah. Never mind. Valentin's right. That's the answer. Never mind.
Sorry, guys, you have to give me a second. There's like a loud bath sound going on.
Okay.
There we go. So Dee Dee, as you're running away, contemplating, what the tentacles could be doing to you right now, one slaps against your lower back, but your armor absorbs the blow.
Ah! Okay. All right.
Wait, did we already? It's Darkness. Her name is Darkness.
Yeah, darkness.
Yes.
That's why you're thinking too.
Yeah.
In a different language, not Draconic. Oh, but Lloyd's still the only person who speaks that language, huh, Lloyd? Lloyd, to the west, you hear a creature call out, and then him and his honor guards are marching out of the tombs to the west. All of them holding their actions, so they may march as one. Valentin!
Oh shit, that's me. Lloyd! Lloyd, what are they saying? I say as I sidle up next to him.
That was just an order for soldiers to advance.
Oh, so they're hostile.
Oh my god.
Yes, but the first one was confused by the language we spoke.
Mention a reason why I was confused? Lloyd, you gotta give me something here.
Apparently they're old enough not to know about common.
Oh, so they don't understand what we're saying right now?
No.
Well then, why don't we find a way to talk to them in a way they can understand?
Does Lloyd not understand them? Speak to them, Lloyd. Tell them. If you speak their language, why don't you speak to them?
And you only read.
Can you only read?
I never learned how to speak. I've been writing the end books this whole time.
It's not so much that. I've only learned to hear, not speak.
He's actually got a babel fish, or whatever they're called, from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. A babblefish?
Oh yeah, that thing. Oh, babel fish is a fucking old ass.
I mean,
I am going to yell out in Draconic to them. You want me to like type it in chat or just say it aloud?
Say it out loud. Or you can type in the chat if you don't want the party to know what you're saying.
Lloyd says, take them, not me. Lloyd, you're the only one that speaks the language. I would really hope that you tell them that, you know, we're not out for blood or anything right now.
Tell them to eat the fish first? No! I'm not a fish in this game! God fucking damn it. Not me! Not me!
Not me!
I want to live!
Why is everyone growing smaller around me? What is this?
And
do I
more
know
of
the name of that place?
You never heard of it before.
Never heard of it. Okay.
And they're like, ah yes, our very powerful ancient empire is stronger than ever, is it not? Never heard of it.
As a note, Lloyd, this is a very old version of Draconic he's speaking, whereas yours is filled with, like, the slang of the time.
Oh no, you're speaking like a zoomer to them.
Yeah, basically.
They're like
speaking to like someone who's 150 years old.
they're like a pretty little, and you're like, hey yo, Monch.
Oh, have you guys ever tried to read like Old English?
Yeah.
It's like, what does this even mean?
Fun fact.
Oh,
as
deciphering
a-
another language, even though they speak in the same thing.
As a judge for a card game, I got called over in a tournament for a ruling, and I was like, no, it doesn't work like that. It clearly says this. And the player's like, well, in Old English, it would be interpreted like this. I'm like, why does that have to do with anything? Why would they print the card in Old English? Like...
Well, Lloyd, you're the only person capable of communicating with this guy. Oh, there you go.
Do we know the current year? Because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's 1465. I'd have to double check my notes, which are lost to time.
Okay, yeah.
The year should currently be 1465, meaning the world is only 1,465 years old.
Bible Belt. Conspiracy theory. Which was only 30 years old. Trust.
Can I make the assumption that this thing assumes the war between the gods is still ongoing?
You very much could, yeah.
Well, in the meantime, I guess I'll use my movement and my action to let Lloyd have my turn.
You just keep doing your turn while I'm typing.
No, I mean, this is my turn. My turn is waiting for you to type shit up. Because Valente doesn't speak.
Keep typing.
Valente can't speak fucking Draconic, so he has to wait for you to finish your fucking interpretation.
We're all just staring at.
I mean, in the meantime, I suppose I could try Undercommon. Hey yo, what's up, Munch? Or maybe they were enemies with people speaking Undercommon, so maybe I would get ourselves fucked over that way.
From the right side, you hear.
Oh, a language I don't know.
I have concerns.
Interesting, interesting.
I say back in Undercommon in it. Do you understand me?
It was memeing.
Oh. I was wondering if it was just repeating what I said back. I guess in the meantime, while Lloyd is trying to communicate with this creature without telling us what it's communicating, because Lloyd is mysterious that way, I will.
Yeah, you guys can keep taking your turns as normal while they have this.
Yeah. I'm gonna move up ahead of Lloyd, like, you know, in protective stance. And I would like to roll. What can I do this with? Oh, that doesn't say.
For instance, you could roll something maybe on why this guy doesn't speak common.
I mean, I can pretty much figure out that in my head, and I would assume that whatever the language that was spoken, like Draconic used to be common, like that used to be the equivalent of common.
Well, you know what they say about assumptions. Fuck you, Valentin.
Oh, I guess I'll just end my turn then.
You can roll something for it. Do what you want.
No, you said fuck you, Valentin. Why would I want to take my turn?
Such a child sometimes.
I'm just trying to figure out what I can do with it. That is told by me. Let's see. I know I can use this on certain roles, but which roles? Use it on.
Chat's yelling, "Save them, Lloyd! Save them all!"
Could I use an insight check to try to figure out if there's a oh, actually, can I roll an investigation check to figure out if the source of the, you know, the magic that's been doing shit inside these chambers, whatever has been powering traps or whatever, if it's originating from this room somehow? Like if this is this sort of quote-unquote generator.
Of course.
And I would like to spend a superiority die to use tactical assessment to add a D8 to my investigation check.
Go ahead.
So that's D8. I don't think I can add it on my sheet yet, so I'll have to work on that. But I'm adding this. Oh.
Better than a
was an
0.
attempt. 22 total.
Yeah, it's likely coming from somewhere within this room. You don't see any further ways down or things like that, so it's likely coming from the coffin itself.
Oh, the coffin itself, not the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright. Fuck, I don't have any explosives. You know, as well. I haven't gotten that far yet in my my tinkering. What was used? 2 at least. Right, I'll end my turn.
The soldiers on the left side stand at attention while the conversation goes on. The creature then finishes stepping out of its tomb. You all watch as it kind of looks at its very clearly undead draconic body. Its scales are slipping, rotting off. There are no eyes in its empty eye holes of its skull, just a blue flame in each. You can see through its, flesh into the sharp teeth in its maw. And then it looks down at itself, examines its skeletal hands, and snaps the fingers that the crown is being held in. And immediately, all of that vanishes. The creature now looks like a normal dragonborn, perhaps in their middle ages, maybe a little bit older. The dragonborn has deep blue scales that kind of shine in the torchlight, like a sapphire. It's wearing regalia of a powerful warrior, perhaps not a king, but a respected mage knight. But it doesn't look undead anymore. It looks like any of you do. Which means that if it were to get out of here, it would be able to very much easily walk around amidst normal populations. It steps out of its coffin, walks towards you all, stopping here as it continues to speak.
So much dialogue.
Yeah, sorry. Alright, Lloyd. He points one of his scaled fingers at you in particular when he says that last line.
Oh boy.
But he does not use his turn for any attacks.
Oh, it's not the spell I thought it was.
Meanwhile, the Displacer Beast squeezes out from its little tiny hole. It's gonna roll 2 attacks, one on Dee Dee with its tentacles, one on Xandra. And they're not made at disadvantage anymore now that it has space. Dee Dee, that's a hit. For a, wow, huge amount as it rolls basically max damage there. And then on Xandra. Oh my lord, nearly max damage on Xandra too, as a total of 29 damage split between the two of you comes out from its wicked tentacles.
Oh, I managed to get out. Shit.
I was muted.
Oh, you've been muted?
Not my little booty. Lloyd, please tell me things are going well in that. If they're not, we're all going to die.
Lloyd, do you answer back?
Ryan, you are silent in our time of need.
Lloyd, please.
Working on it.
We are begging.
Working on it? That's the... Yeah.
Give us the
He might be
people
saying
better
something.
what-
No, listen. And then you hear platonic mumbling.
Can you
He's
give
talking
us
to
the
the creature. Just focus on this thing first.
Can you give us the footnotes at least?
It's mad.
It's mad.
Okay, great.
Alright, Dee Dee, I'm with you. Take this thing out. Done with this fuck.
Let's kill this fucker.
Like the way you talk.
I like
Lloyd!
the way you move.
You're up, Lloyd.
Sandra, like, eyes wide and she looks at you. Oh, is this the time for that?
No. I meant the way you fight, Jesus. This is not the appropriate time.
That's what I was thinking. Fine, we'll save it for later.
Lloyd, what is it mad about? Was it something we did?
Oh, you know, breaking
Entering the
too.
tomb in the first place.
Oops. My bad.
What about that gem thing?
We
Does
can
it know
give it
anything
the
about
gem.
that?
Since I'm playing as Clank, we'll pull the gem out. Yeah, that's the one, Clank. What if we give it this? Lloyd, try bargaining it.
Well,
Doesn't
hang
tell us
on.
we give it the gem.
Well, hang on, just a minute though. what if that gem is the last thing it needs to be able to break out of here, and then it starts
Yeah,
breaking
well, it's
havoc?
either that or we die.
I say that as I'm pointing over the Clang Clang holding up the pearl.
At least maybe we can make this thing our ally. If it's powerful, maybe we can get help from it.
Lloyd, that's what it says.
We save it from the tomb, we give it its gem, it becomes our ally, and we get out of here alive. I think that's the best option.
Now what? We rule the world together?
Lloyd,
What if it's
after...
after world domination and slaving the
Fine.
entire population?
I'd rather rule the world next to this thing than be fucking dead. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
what if you get ruled?
Lloyd, as
You know what? You know what?
You're
Being a slave
alive.
is not as bad as being dead, but you know what? I'd rather take my chances with it than being stuck on its blade, you know?
Lloyd, after he says that last line where you would rob me of my belongings and then use them to bargain with me,
Boy.
he begins laughing and he raises a hand and all of his honor guard immediately take up defensive positions.
God damn it.
But not aggressive, as if they were standing waiting for the conversation to end before choosing to attack. The Displacer Beast, however, does not seem to be as disciplined and is still trying to kill members of your party. And the Dragonborn does not seem encouraged to help you defeat it.
Fucking asshole!
Just tell it that if it went for us, it would still be stuck in here.
Yeah, stay back.
Wow.
Don't wipe.
For who knows for how many thousands of years.
Lloyd, I'm gonna pass through your turn so this way the people dealing with the remaining threat can deal with it. Clang clang!
Clang Clang will do what she does best. She'll stand still. She'll use her secondary aim.
Steady aim.
Secondary steady aim. She will target the Displacer Beast. And she will fire her bow with advantage. And then we're engaged, so she gets a sneak attack.
He gets it because you're at advantage.
Oh, yeah, both. I don't know why it only rolled one.
You didn't apply the
Sorry,
effect, you just
I
clicked.
clicked the wrong button on the sneak attack.
That's
sorry.
fine, roll it manually, I'll just add it in.
2d6. Just
2d6, please, thank you. The creature looks like it's on its last legs.
Good work, Clang Clang.
It has 4 of them. That's not very... I'm still disconcerted.
You gotta end Clang Clang's turn whenever you're ready.
Sorry. Yeah, let me get the combat track correct.
Thank you, Saf, for banning that bot, by the way. Sandra. Lloyd, you can keep typing and talking to it, too.
Yeah.
Sandra steps forward, like bleeding profusely.
You walk into its range, and so this way you can hit it. Walking closer to its tentacles, the Displacer Beast goes, "Oh, you're actually approaching me!"
I thought attacks of opportunity only happened when you left its range.
No, yeah, it's not. It's not. It's just bold. It's
it's
this
bold.
cool, bold moment where instead of running away from it, you're getting closer to it.
I have to get close enough to you to kill you. Sandra will strike at it with her quarter. Well, nope, not her quarterstaff. That's broken. She will attempt to punch it with her unarmed strike.
Meanwhile, I'm just kind of
Oh, it's a hit. Thank God.
lamenting the fact that Lloyd's been talking more to this Undead thing than he did to me over this past 3 days.
As it dies, Sandra
Threatening
will
to kill him.
lean forward and grab it by the throat and inhale deeply as it crumples in front of her, sucking in 5 temporary.
Good stuff.
Yep, you do it.
Sandra stops bleeding and looks a little bit better, but not great.
It collapses to the
collapse in front of
ground.
Now, let's deal with this bullshit. She'll step through the door into this area. Right behind the door. And she will enter.
Alright, because we're not actively in combat right now, Serrario's going to get the last turn on initiative, so that's all I need for right now, Serrario, is for you to do a thing, and then we go into free movement and initiative because there are no current threats. However, doing anything threateningly to anyone in this room, attacking, casting a spell, or anything means that we return to initiative.
I'm just gonna skip my turn.
Okay, Serrario, you just stand around looking big and awkward.
I'm like, what's going on?
No need to call us out here, okay?
The Dragonborn looks directly at Serrario and says that in Draconic.
Lloyd?
I like myself a big mama. Is what it said.
Did you say Death by Snoo Snoo?
Hey,
Death by
you
Snoo
tell
Snoo.
him if he needs a new wife.
Snoo Snoo.
I'm ready.
Ah, yes, he must be really pent up from all this time stuck in the
Oh,
coffin.
he came out of the tomb bricked up. You
Oh, sorry,
You guys
I thought
trade
that was
Serrario to
constipation
him to
until
get
today.
out? Okay.
Oh, he's not the only thing that came back from the undead. That boner did too.
What did the Dragonborn look like again?
Deep
It's
blue
blue.
scales, fancy regalia armor, very dexterous as opposed to directly strong. Their blade
Look like
crackles
my
with
new
magical
daddy.
energy. No, the dude does give off Big Daddy vibes, to be honest with you.
Oh no, he was a big woman. I'm ready.
He wants a big woman, I'm ready.
He's the big daddy, you'll be the big mama to him.
Yes.
That second one is again side-eyeing you. Whatever he just said there, Serrario, he's side-eyeing you, and you can see as his gaze trails down and up you the full extent.
Jesus fucking Christ, we were joking. What the
Were
fuck?
we?
I'm into this. Can we play this out?
Okay, sorry, I was joking.
I mean, you can try to interpret what they're saying based on the tone.
Lloyd, I'm
Sarah,
taking
do
you
a
on
sexy
my
motion.
date. I'm just
Look at this
gonna,
sex emotion.
I'm gonna wiggle my big hips and then awkwardly also hit the ceiling at the same time and just kind of blush about it.
Oh my god, that's so cute! Awkward giant blanket girl for the win!
Why do I hear saxophone music?
Lloyd, he watches Serrario and then says that.
Oh no. That doesn't sound promising. You'll get him
Lloyd, do I
next
have a
time,
husband
Tiger.
or not?
Speechless.
You'll get him next time, Tiger. And Deirdre, like, reaches up to pat you on the shoulder, realizes, oh no, she's not even by you.
I was gonna say, she's got
She,
long arms.
Yeah.
Throws
If
a
she were
rock.
next to you, she'd reach up to pat you on the shoulder and would realize she almost would, like, smack your ass instead and pull her hand back very often.
I need Valentin to tap my knee.
Yeah.
Oh,
You right up there,
doing?
Sarah?
I'm alright. Just staring down everybody.
After saying that, the Dragonborn turns around, and he sits down on the edge of his coffin, and he puts his head in his hands.
Lloyd, tell us what this guy's saying. Not just the abridged version. We need to know everything so that we can work on this as a team. What did he
Sorry,
say?
have you met Lloyd?
This is the first time I've ever gone on an extensive trip with you
We
all.
ain't even getting Spock notes right now. I have no idea what the fuck's happening. Boy.
Oh, to interpret?
I think it's called his pee-pee spool. He just went, oh no, my pee-pee is
Thank you for the follow, the Shiny Haunter.
He's saying this is not the resurrection he was promised. They were promised a great battle. to continue a fight against some ancient evil.
Oh, they're trying to fight ancient evil.
I mean, isn't evil a matter of perspective?
Well, ask them about what kind of ancient evil were they promised. And when were they promised to have it delivered? Because clearly, somebody else is not keeping up their end of the deal.
Yeah, this DoorDash for evil really just pissed them off.
Yeah, they're too
Well, they
late.
got held up in the blood sands, okay?
Yeah, they found a sexy giant woman and they tried to woo her and it didn't work.
Obviously, we're hard to woo.
Yes.
I mean, when you're that big and that sexy, you got many options. You don't have to take the first man that walks up to you and says, "Hey, I've got a big pee."
Any man that comes up to me, I'm just gonna sit on him, and not in a good way.
Well, okay. Say not in a good way.
But they'll
Pretty sure I'll be
die!
happy in any way.
Snoo, snoo!
Sit on me, Sarah.
Snoo, baby.
Like how all of the conversations here is just Lloyd talking to this creature, and meanwhile everyone else is just, you know, still being in horny mode. Just
Simping for the man.
I mean, we as people are, but the characters aren't.
Did anyone else take like comprehend languages as a spell?
No.
no, and even if we
unfortunately,
took,
I
if we
wish I
took,
did.
even,
I'm a
Even if we
cleric,
took-
my shit gets prepped.
even if we took comprehend languages, it's not like we could speak back to it. See, Lloyd, this is why you need to interpret for us as it goes instead of just staying silent while you're talking to it, so that we understand the context of what's going on.
Is there an intense non-battle music that we could listen to while this is happening?
You want something else? Yeah, hold on. Let me see. I think I got
Oh
something.
no, we're gonna get saxophone music. No.
Yeah, give me something sexy, please. No, give like something that's still tense, but not
So-
active fighting.
I know I've done this in the past, but can I make another religion check on a Volta?
Sure.
Oh, the what now?
Oh no, the Foogies disappeared.
Hmm?
The Foogies are back.
Yeah, they do that. They like reset occasionally.
You have never heard of the name Volter.
Also, is it still DD's turn? Wait, we're moving outside of turns, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
guys can move, talk, do whatever you'd like right now. Just anything aggressive causes us to return to combat initiative.
So I'm
Can't
just trying to move
Someone
with our
can
hands
talk
to
to
our
one of them?
sides, like trying to look unaggressive and just move up slowly and stand next to Lloyd.
No, Valentin can't talk to any of these guys.
Nope.
I'm
Already
gonna
understood one.
cast Cure Wounds.
As you start casting a spell, immediately all of the honor guard slam their battle axes and long spears against the ground, and then lower them into a battle stance.
Whoa! Lloyd, tell them I'm healing. I try to like display my wounds and like put my hands up in as non-threatening
You just start
gesture as
taking off
possible.
your clothing to be like, look, I'm hurt.
I'm bleeding.
I'm not undressing
I mean,
in front
if-
of them. I'm like pulling back to see, like they can see blood dripping off of my arms and stuff. My hands are like
Oh.
open and up.
As you just say that, Lloyd, the Dragonborn waves his hand, and they return to their at attention stance.
Sheesh, some fucking people. And then I cast heal on myself. People. Cure wounds. Yeah. Can't fucking just sit back and let a lady mend to her wounds. I rolled shit! Why did my health go...
Lloyd,
oh my-
please, for the love of the gods, tell us a bit of context so that we can help in this endeavor. Maybe give you ideas on what to say, or are you intent on keeping this all to yourself?
Everything is fine. I'm handling it.
Oh my god! But we're not
Okay.
supposed to be handling it alone, is the point. We're a team. Or
By
at
the way,
least we are now.
does the gas sip into this chamber?
No, it does not.
Do I
Um,
see gas out there?
No, you don't.
Can
Okay.
I make a check on the berserker and
can.
see if there's like any god or anything that would relate to this?
Sure. None that you can recall, not in this moment, in this context. Perhaps if you had a library and access to one, you'd be able to do some research.
I'm gonna ask, have anyone, or any of you heard of Berserker, Volta, like, any gods known for this?
You guys can roll any check you want on the name Berserker or on the name Volter.
Well, Berserkers are kind of the Svelish battle style, isn't it?
It is.
Mine was for Volter.
I'll do Berserker.
Zandra, what was yours rolled on in particular? Berserker or Volter?
Oh.
Berserker. No, it's also Falter.
Okay.
I guess I'll roll a history.
Yeah. Insight's probably the worst one to roll for this, by the way.
That's the
yeah, but I
only
don't have. I've got literally neg and
Yep.
everything else.
Lloyd's the only int-based character.
Okay.
I could also roll history for -2. Perfect.
Perfect.
Love it.
So, Dee Dee, going with your insight on the name Volter, correct?
Mm-hmm.
As Valentin said, the fighting style of berserking, rage, and anger that barbarians use was developed in Sveland by the Svelish warriors. You don't actually know, though, if they were related to a god in particular per se. The Svelish had their own strange style of worship, as they weren't devoted to any particular god, but nor were they non-religious. Unlike, and this is comboing with what you rolled, Valentin, so this is what the two of you know kind of together. Unlike the general rest of the world where you were sworn to the god that created you, or you chose to, forsake gods entirely and then hunted them and such, the Svelish instead had a very, very strange style of worship, where they weren't beholden to any particular god, but instead may have had their own pantheon. None of you are particularly familiar with Svelish, and there wasn't a religion role in there, so I can't go in too much into detail about what their pantheon was or how they did worship and things like that.
Is it too late to do a religious role?
No, it's never too late. So you do a religious roll, but I'm going to finish what I was saying with this one, and then I'll get to you what your 2 roll comes with, okay, Xandra?
Do you even need to tell me?
But what you do know, Valentin, is that they very heavily venerated ancestry and strength of arms. Meaning that if this Volter is also being referred to as Berserker, he is likely the guy who invented berserking, or at the very least is heavily credited towards it. The style of berserking is very similar to standard barbarian rages, but instead of allowing your anger at any point to cool through, a lull in fighting, berserkers would start, and content warning for self-harm, everyone. I'll give you a second. You can mute the stream if you need. Berserkers would use their ancestral axes handed down from their parents to carve into their own flesh in order to keep the rage going and their anger hot. That method of fighting style has heavily fallen out of favor since the world is mostly at peace now, because it kind of led to an untargeted anger at everything around you, meaning that it was very, very difficult for a berserker to tell friend from foe. It also involved a lot of psychedelics and other drugs to essentially hit a pure state of unrestrained fury, where everything else is tuned out.
Quick question then.
Mm-hmm.
This Volter, does he seem like a recent figure or like way before our time?
he would have been around the same time as this Dragonborn if the Dragonborn's talking about him. But one thing, though, that
but the reason why I'm asking is, like, for a time frame, does this mean like 1,000 years, 2,000 years?
You haven't dated how old this Dragonborn is, but before the existence of Common, likely.
When is then Common first?
Very, very old. I think it's very, very, very,
Common,
very old.
Common came into being in the year 978 when a cabal of wizards, blessed by the goddess of magic, got together and, utilizing a tower located on the continent of Helmelin, cast a spell encompassing the entire world that created the language of Common, essentially giving knowledge of the language to everyone on the planet at once.
So this Dragonborn would have been before then.
Yes.
So we can at least date him to older than 900 and... What was it, 87?
978 was the idea.
The other way around.
Meaning that he's over at least half a millennia old, likely significantly longer.
Lloyd, when did this Dragonborn tell you?
I'm sorry, there was one more thing I needed to give to you, Valentin.
Oh.
Despite knowledge now of the name Valter and that he was likely a famous berserker who could have invented berserking, you have never heard the name Valter. It sounds of Svelish descent. But in your just memory history of powerful Svelish names, you have never heard the name Valter ever come up. Not a single time. But just the naming convention sounds like it should be a Svelish name. But you've never heard of it actually used.
Maybe erased from history on purpose. There are plenty of people and things and events that higher powers work to erase or mitigate.
No,
traces.
this Volter, if he is a creature that this Dragonborn is speaking of, and they were supposed to be resurrected in order to combat him. It appears something else took care of Volter ahead of time, and Volter has been long lost to history.
Lloyd, do
Either
you...
that or Volter's
Hold
been
on.
gone
I'm gonna give
and
Lloyd
might
a
come
second.
back.
I'm gonna give Lloyd a second to chime in on that. Lloyd?
What was that?
Yeah, and I thought that you would miss what Valentin said because I had just finished typing at the same time. Valentin, please repeat what you said, and Rai, listen carefully to what Valentin just said.
I don't remember what it was I said. I said,
Valter might have been previously defeated.
And
He was the one that was supposed to be fighting.
if this Volter is a creature of from history, that this Dragonborn was put into place to resurrect in order to combat, it appears that whoever he was supposed to be combating has been defeated by something else and then forgotten to history, as there is no written record about somebody named Volter to the extent that this Dragonborn would combat. Like he seems like an insignificant speck of dust on the spectrum of history, which is impressive considering we've only been around for what, a couple of, like, at most 2,000 years.
Lloyd? Are you going to say anything to that, or should I move on?
I will tell them that these undead, they've been here since the era of shaping, the year 133. They're over 1,500 years old at this point.
Right? Also,
before you said, like, common was, like, a spell, the does it mean that these guys would be capable of common if they were aware of it?
If you were to teach it to them, yes, actually.
Okay.
So the spell was originally cast across like the entire world, so everyone got knowledge of common, but it's not perfect, so most people just teach it. Although if the focus that was used to cast the spell was ever destroyed, the entire world would lose access to common simultaneously.
Well, also you would assume that, you know, a baby being born would also have to be taught common. Normally,
Yes.
they don't just start speaking it.
Common is a magical language that's a blend of every other existing language. It shouldn't exist, and it kind of bends the rules of, you know, linguistics to do so. Meaning that should the language, like, should the focus that was used to cast the spell, whatever it was in that tower on the continent of Helmelin, ever be destroyed, even people who had learned it naturally will forget how to speak it all at once.
Well, what does this mean?
Is it possible that this figure that they're worried about is a prophesized return? That he's not around now and hasn't been for thousands of years, but potentially he'll come back at some point?
Well, there's also the precedent of it's possible, because there are, like, imagine for instance you're a child and you're being bullied as a child, and at the time of you being bullied, that bully is the worst thing to have ever come to existence. It is the worst thing ever, and you fear it and you dread it. But on the grand scale, that bully isn't that big of a deal. It could be that whatever culture this Dragonborn is part of were at serious risk from being wiped out by Svelish people back in history, but that's because they themselves perhaps had no way of combat the way the Svelish people were fighting. But on the grand scale, this man, this Walter, was just a mortal, and eventually he died. And would I know how Svelish people how to pass down knowledge? Is it in spoken form, or do they have writings in some way?
They do have writings as well as spoken form, but none that have made it, like, none of their writings have made it out here. Like, all of their writings are very, very localized still in Sveland. The only thing that's kind of been popularized outside of it, like, no one really gives a shit about Svelish scholars, for instance, is their poetry became quite popular for a time.
Interesting. It is possible that whatever knowledge would have been passed down about this Walter has merely been lost to time, because either he wasn't as big of a deal as people thought, and so they didn't pass his knowledge down through spoken tongue, and what was ever written about him might have just been lost because it was only written on things that would not stand the test of time, such as, you know,
Possible.
paper or bone that would have eroded.
It sure would be nice to know what he's saying, though, Lloyd.
It's saying that no matter what, they traded everything to be able to combat this Volta, and now they need to die for real before this curse they've accepted twists them. So it sounds like if they stay in the state of undeath, eventually they'd probably going to have some terrible fate happen to them, whether they succumb to madness themselves or something like that.
Perhaps we could guide them to a new enemy.
Valenti crosses his arms, or we just kill them.
I don't think we're strong enough for that.
But if they just let us kill them, we pretend to fight them, and then they go, "Oh no, we have been defeated."
That sounds like a very unhonorable death. I'm not sure that they would abide by that.
But you are right. Perhaps we could direct them towards a new, stronger enemy, but we don't have that enemy yet, do we? Because oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, wasn't there like a dragon below or something?
Could we not direct them towards the thing that tried to kill us in that sense?
Well, that is a danger for sure, but is it a civilization-ending threat?
Does
Which
it
are
have
you...
to be a civilization-ending threat for us?
Well, we don't know what the curse is now, do we?
I'm so confused where your line of logic is going. They need an enemy.
So
why not send them towards something that's going to kill us? If they win, it's out of our way. If they die, then they get what they want.
Yeah, but if they just die normally, then they wouldn't need to be directed towards an enemy either. If the logic is they just need to die to an enemy.
I don't think. Well, I guess it's up to Lloyd to figure out, but I highly doubt warriors that sacrifice their themselves to be undead. I highly doubt that they're gonna go through all of that just to wake up and be like, you know what? Oh, I think I'll take the dishonorable death of just committing suicide. I highly doubt that they're willing to go through that. But
he looks at all of you guys talking, raises one of his brows, and then looks back to Lloyd and says a very clear question to Lloyd. He needs a second.
Yes.
Look, if it is a curse that's now binding them, and they might lose themselves to this undeath, and it is a curse, then the wording of the curse is very specific, is it not? So if the wording of the curse is you must fight to the death a civilization-ending threat, then we would have to find a civilization-ending threat instead of just a threat. It all depends on what the actual curse is, or whatever enchantment is binding them here. What does this language sound like? Immerse us.
It's a lot of hissing and
okay, so
clenching
hiss
of
for
teeth.
us. And clench your teeth
I can't,
for us.
I'm still sick.
That seems like a you problem.
Sarah, make me a language that you think a lizard would speak in.
It's just gonna be it. All I can think of is parcel tongue for whatever reason.
A lizard would speak like Birdo.
I'm a snake. I'm a sassy little snake.
I'm a snake. I'm a sexy snake.
Yeah, we're just sitting here with our dicks in our hands, waiting for something to happen. I feel so useless.
To be fair, he's now
like
asked.
A one pump chump.
To be fair, he's now asked Lloyd what you guys are saying. And Lloyd,
they're saying they've got their dicks in their hands.
Yeah, Lloyd also gave him the cliff notes.
Oh my
we're
god,
useless.
Lloyd,
That we don't know what's going on. We're trying to make heads or tails of this.
Lloyd really is just giving everyone cliff notes.
Attempting to
He doesn't give anyone any context. He just says, "It's this."
It's snake jazz. They just scat the whole time. But it's like
No. It's not scat. It's not scat. It's scat.
That made it sound dirty. I don't know why. I didn't like that. Please take it back.
Scat.
Scat.
Can I see behind us if the gas is dispersed or if it's getting thicker?
It's gone. I've told you, there's no gas there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna tell Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd, can you tell him that I'll be right back? And I'm gonna just back out of this room real quick. I'm gonna head into this room. And I'm just gonna go pick up the potion that's probably gonna be in this room.
Yeah, let him know that we're
any
gonna
of the
grab
guys-
Sorry, Valentin, no. That room's filled with gas. As you turn the corner to go look at it,
Oh.
it looks like the side rooms are filled with gas, but it didn't leak into the main chambers.
Oh.
I could pop another first level spell if we think we really need it.
I mean, for now, it doesn't seem like there's any hostility.
I guess I'd rather have fewer spell slots and ensure that you don't go down.
I'm fine. It's Lloyd
You're
and
not-
Zandra
yeah.
that's really bad off.
I was gonna
Lloyd,
say,
please
anybody's
ask if
gonna
I
go
may
down, it's
heal
gonna be
if I may
me.
heal you and Zandra.
Lloyd was the one that took a blow for me because he loved me so much.
Boys' night.
Boys' night.
He said it back.
Is it saying it back if he just says it independently of you?
Oh, true. Wait, that means that he's initiating Boys' Night. Boys' Night. I'm sure this is very interesting for the stream to just have us sitting here in silence.
Hey man, it happens. Besides you guys are being interesting, you're fine. Yeah, you complain so much.
Stream
but,
can
like,
read as well.
Yeah, stream can read this.
Yeah,
I could have
stream
been
can
in.
see it. Stream can
I could have
translate.
been in
Stream
bed
knows
for
more than
another
we
2
know.
hours.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Can they read it? Oh, they can. But
Yeah,
yours
Stream knows
can.
I'm offering him fish, but
Fish.
What?
Fish?
What? You're giving him what?
Don't give away our fish. That is our fish.
We don't actually have a fish.
Yes, you do.
She's right
Adult
here, how
character,
dare
yeah,
you?
sure.
No.
He's not gonna reach out of the computer screen and pluck you into this game. You're
I guess
already in this game.
if he doesn't want a big woman as his wife, maybe he wants a wet woman as his wife. And Undyne steps forward and sashays him.
Undyne isn't in this campaign.
I know. Undyne would be a high charisma character, though. You bet your ass.
Absolutely. Absolutely a bard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about it.
I think
There's
we're
like
all
a
about it.
dancing bard in Pathfinder, or a
Mhm.
dancing like equivalent to a bard. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
a similar thing.
I
that
mean, you
exists in
can
Strategy.
have a dancing bard in D&D too. It's all about how you flavor your musical instrument.
I feel like she'd be a belly dancer.
You could have just like your instrument would be the bells that you wear on your hips.
My instrument is my my
Like,
pelvic
Have
thrust.
you seen the belly dance like sashes that are just like covered in like little
My-
coins,
Yes.
so that when
Yes.
you dance they jingle against each other?
At my age, my musical instrument would be just my hips moving because you can just hear cracks.
I feel that anyways.
Yeah.
You
No,
look at
I
my
give my version of bardic inspiration would be the Harney. I give you an affection erection. Or a heart on.
I'd like to make the toots my instrument.
Yeah. Yes. I'm proficient in both erection and fart. Thank you.
No, I just imagine Sarah's like character just like turned around like on
With a
her
butt
like
trumpet?
on her like yeah with her butt straight up in the air with her hands down. She's
Okay,
got
how about
like a trumpet stuck in her butthole. And she's just tooting.
so? How about
you?
what if you get an erection, right? And then
Mhm.
you tie a string to your erection, but then you tie the string to your neck, and now you're playing bass.
Oh my god. Wait, that sounds extremely
But then-
kinky. That
but
sounds
then
like
it's just-
asphyxiation and...
Exactly. You just bring on the horny. But then as you start to get, as you start to,
We are combining a multitude of things together. We're combining affection erection, actual hard-on, choking fetish, and then what I believe Valentin is about to turn into fart.
Never so fitting.
well, and then as you start to become more flaccid, the tone changes on the face. So you start getting
Yeah.
It's
It's like a slide whistle for your
I
pee-pee.
don't like this instrument.
I thought you were gonna say you're gonna toot out of the erection at first.
Well, I guess that's one way to call what happens when erections release things.
Well, we were talking about scat earlier, so I guess that makes sense.
Anyway.
A very different type of scat, yes.
Also, I will explain to the party that these guys follow Brother Sand.
Wait, well, oh, he follows Brother Sand. Okay.
Yes. That is their deity of choice.
Oh wait, is Brother Sand the dead god or the
Living
current
one.
god?
Brother
Yes.
Sand is very much still alive.
Okay.
Can
about
I
the
make
dead
a
god?
religion
Yeah, what's
check
the-
on this
yeah, what's-
based on the fact, like, does Brother Sand have any, like,
For sure.
ties to
Brother Sand, I
this
would like
evil?
to roll too.
Please.
Please,
Go ahead.
thank you. I will do it. If only I
I
could
shall give
flex my way
inspiration.
to some
No!
knowledge.
Ah! I didn't get the chance to help anyone. Oh,
That's an insight, Dee Dee.
Oh,
I'm-
well.
I will.
Okay.
I will assist you in your religion roll.
So you have advantage, Lloyd.
Okay, so again.
I was trying to flavor my insight in the world around me and knowledge I might have. Because my insight.
There we go.
Brother Sand Lloyd communicates in mysterious ways.
Wow.
It's not.
Like I haven't heard that before.
Do you want me to continue?
Yep.
He communicates in extremely mysterious ways. Omens, signs of prophecy, and things like that. His main task in this era of peace is that he writes love messages that the goddess of the sun leaves for the goddess of the moon. Every night, she leaves the messages that Brother Sand etches across the desert for the object of her affection, the moon.
Does this creature know about that part? Because I'm wondering if it's like a recent development since
Potentially.
these followed
But
Brother Sand's.
It still wasn't done. It still wasn't done.
You
he
always take such long
communicates-
pauses. I thought you were done.
It's because my throat hurts. He also communicates with his followers basically the same way. It's not direct do this communications. Instead, it's very, very vague signs and gentle guidance. A change in the wind. A strangely shaped cactus. Grains of sand shifting across the desert in ways that they shouldn't.
I love how you heard strangely shaped cactus.
Yeah,
and
that
went,
was my
"Ooh."
favorite one too. A shift in the wind. Strangely shaped cactus. Looks
Ooh,
like a
I wonder
pee-pee.
if that would fit.
Oh no!
All sorts of different manners of communication. Meaning
Everything's
it's
a dildo if you're brave enough.
if they ask for guidance, it would likely go that they were either unanswered or not. Brother Sand's religion also abhors the undead.
Oh my god, no, what? This is so tragic. What if they went, Brother Sand, what shall we do? And Brother Sand was like, oh yeah, you need to make peace with them and like, invite them for dinner. And they went, oh my god, he wants us to turn ourselves undead to combat them in the future. Like, what if they just misinterpreted what he wanted them to do?
That is a very high possibility, Lloyd, is what you're starting to believe.
Yeah. I will say they say like they know what they must do, and it is to die. Do we want to like offer to put them to rest?
No, wait, Lord, you don't. You don't see the thing that we worked out together, as I assisted you with your religion check, is we worked out that perhaps all they did is that they misinterpreted what Brother Sad wanted. Perhaps they don't need to die. Perhaps there is something completely different that they need to do. And they should know, as followers of Brother Sand, that, undead is kind of a no-go.
Which would explain, by the way, all of the very different viewpoints you guys saw on the undead in this dungeon. Where they were both venerating it and also abhorring it.
So they were venerating themselves, but abhorring the Svelish.
Yes, while also abhorring themselves, very clearly in the end here.
They were like flagellating themselves, whatever it's called. It's called flagellating, right? It's not. Yes. Flagellating is farting.
Yeah, flagellating. You're right. Yeah, they didn't want to do this, but they felt it was necessary, and then you guys woke them all up early.
Early? Don't you mean late? The threat is gone.
Potentially. Lloyd knows more about the threat than you guys do right now.
Yeah, big. I wonder why.
I'll tell you next week, mate.
God, he knows.
You gotta
play me
just
like
had
a
to
fiddle.
hit him where it hurts, huh?
Lloyd. The thing is, they might have just misinterpreted his words. Maybe they don't need to die. Perhaps they just need to find a different purpose. Perhaps we can help them figure out what the interpretation Brother Sand wanted.
He says it's not possible that they misinterpreted it. He hates undead, but he gave this task to 8 of them. So there's 8 tombs scattered amongst the blood sands.
Oh, there's 7 more of these tombs?
Apparently.
Wait, is this like some sort of quest line where we need to activate 7 tombs and then we'll gain all of the Dragon Balls to get this power to combat some other evil? Do we need to awaken into the tombs to continue on with this quest? Either way, if they tell us what Brother Sand told them, then perhaps we can also try to interpret what the message Brother Sand was giving them. And figure out if they truly need to die to combat an evil that no longer exists or hasn't even started to exist yet.
And they just go back to sleep?
Well, they hang out here. I mean, it's not like they need to eat. All I'm saying is perhaps there are other ways to solve this, or, learn more if we just try to look at it from their viewpoint and then applying our own. The world is very different now than it used to be, and it doesn't make sense that they would have to awaken into a time of war if there was no war and there's a time of peace currently.
Lloyd continues to be silent, instead focusing on his conversation with the Dragonborn, as opposed to, filling you guys in or getting your opinions.
guess I start taking out a deck of cards.
As you reach into your coat, again, all of the honor guards slam their spears against the ground and enter a battle stance.
I still take out my deck of cards. I want to play.
They return to the at attention position.
I sit down and I guess I start...
Serario!
Yeah.
You feel weird.
Oh god. I don't feel good. What's happening?
You start feeling strange, and then you note your right hand is back to normal size while the rest of your body is still huge.
Oh god.
Tiny right hand.
Oh god. My head!
Oh no, you're
Hand.
being Deadpooled.
That's exactly what I just said!
And then, as she's speaking, her head suddenly shrinks down to normal size. But her body remains huge.
What are you doing?
With a loud popping sound, her arms both become normal sizes, so do her legs, but her torso still remains massive.
I think Dee Dee puts her hands up but like starts walking up just to pat you on the back as you start transitioning back to a normal size.
Wouldn't it
Because
have been...
sounds like it'd be really painful.
Wouldn't
So
it
just
have
like,
been
there,
funny
you can do
if, when this effect ended, that, you know, she just popped like a balloon and just went...
I'm just
I
like
just flew
flailing
off.
my little arms in the air with my big torso, like heal.
And then,
You roll onto your back and can't get up.
Yeah, I'm like a turtle. I'm like, please help me.
Serario, you then shrink to a height of 3.5 feet.
Oh, thank God. Wait, what?
As you're
Why
now
is she so
considered
tiny?
a small creature, as you are now...
Sorry, did you mean to turn so tiny?
I am a child.
Wait, she's pocket sized.
Except her
Alexander
head...
Alexander gives tiny Serario
Oh
a head
no,
pat.
she has
Wait,
to
is she
speak.
a chibi?
Yeah, her head remains the size of her normal body size.
I pick
Oh,
you
no.
up. I like out of instinct to just pick you up and hold you like, I don't know, like you would a toddler. And I'm like, I don't know, that just felt natural. Do you want me to put you back down?
No, please keep holding me as I like curl up into her arms.
Yeah.
Oh my
poor
god.
thing.
Her voice is
yeah.
even squeakier than normal.
This is, I think Dee Dee's eyes do that thing where like someone sees something adorable and they get really big and sparkly, and she's like, "This is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life."
It's just like,
I can't comprehend it. You'll be fine. You'll be right as rain. Don't you
thanks,
worry.
Mom. I miss being big.
But yep, she's got itty bitty body and big head right now.
She's baby.
My head's too big. I'm gonna fall over.
So, what's happening, Lloyd? Are we good here?
I guess I sit down and keep on. I start playing solitaire or something.
No, I think Valentin does the entire sequence that Mr. Bean does in that one meme clip where he's like waiting, picking at grass, then he's sitting, and then he's standing up, and he's looking at his watch, and he's got his hands on his hips, like really high up, and
Yeah.
around with his
And-
back hunched.
And then he's just you know, when you stand diagonally with your forehead against the wall and you're just I'm sort of planking and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god, this is the worst for someone like Valentin to just stand around doing nothing. My attention span starts to wander.
I like how Valentin is an ADHD character.
Do you like having somebody relatable in the game?
Yes, actually. I very much do. No, seriously, I do. I love seeing representation. And Valentin, a lot of the things that the player is doing, that the character is doing, are things that he has seen me do IRL in order to deal with these kinds of situations and stuff.
I'm also seeing inspiration from
a British comedian.
Yeah, a lot of the things he does as someone that is a public figure with ADHD and very open about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know, I mean I don't have diagnosed ADHD, but I relate really hard to some of the things that happen. So it's like it just makes sense, especially for someone like Valentin to like, oh god, please. Please let something. I don't need to fight anyone. Like I don't want to die or anything. But just I start tinkering again.
So
this is even worse because now I take something out that kind of looks like a weapon.
Again, immediately all the weapons are drawn on Valentin. But then they relax when they realize it's nothing dangerous. In addition, Lloyd, I know that you've been trying to get a word in edgewise at the last 3 paragraphs he's said. Go ahead.
Alright. Choking on water. But I would say we have a priest of Brother Sand at the surface, right?
Wait, sorry. Say that again?
Yes, we do have a priest of Brother Sands at the surface.
We could try to get them down here to perform the last rites to these guys and get them laid to rest proper.
Is it a good idea? Is it something that they would want? Could you?
I will ask them.
Ask them.
I love the idea. One minor problem. We got through here through a bunch of traps, one of which was pretty deadly with a bunch of arrows that we can't see. Is there a way to turn them off from inside here? Perhaps you could ask the creature ahead of us. Have you asked him his name yet? The silence is deafening.
No, I have not asked him his name yet. It seems unimportant.
You haven't... What? You haven't even introduced yourself?
Oh, rude.
This is
He never asked.
This is an ancient being that has knowledge from the past. And you haven't even bothered asking for its name? What if it's a name we actually recognize? Like, oh, this is a creature of, like, myth and legend. And no one knew what happened to them. This could be an astronomical find.
Normally, if they were, they would seem maybe introducing themselves. If they were this great
For God's
being.
sake, ask him what its name is, Lloyd.
Oh, I already responded to that, Lloyd, because I thought that
okay.
When he said, we will tend to ourself, you may go if there's not more you wish to say or discuss. Do you want to... You can reread what he had said previously, too, if you had missed some of it, or if there's something you wanted to bring up amongst the party before leaving.
What its name is?
But go ahead.
Ignoring Valentin, I'm going to go and ask the rest of the party, is there anything you wish to ask before we leave?
Are they... If they're tending to themselves... Maybe don't ask them this. If they're tending to themselves, are they planning to, like, end themselves soon? Because, we could just step out, let them do their thing, and come back and take what we want. You know what I mean? Sandra kind of does the eyebrow, like, wiggle it. Like, you know what I mean?
Eyebrows.
We could take whatever we want.
Sarah.
They're not using it anymore.
I almost started responding in a British voice. Oops.
Look,
Pip, pip.
come on, it's infectious. You can use it. It's fine.
It's basically infectious. That's true. I think that we need to, at the very least, ensure that they're not going to pose danger to anybody else. They can do whatever they want, but so long as they are brought up to speed with what their current deity really thinks and believes in, and follow that in a way that will not harm anyone. That's my only concern.
Lloyd, did you ask them about the priest from up above?
I did not. Would you like to know
If
about
they're
that?
gonna lay themselves to rest, it would maybe...
You did ask about the
Oh,
priest. They said
that priest.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes.
Yeah, I was thinking of
So
different
they don't
priests.
need it. Got it.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions for them. But I'll let you guys
wanna
think
know
about
his
my
name.
proposal. Perhaps we just step out and let them handle their thing.
What's his name?
There you go. Lloyd?
They say the reason they want to die is so they don't pose a harm to anyone else.
Okay. And does he want? I missed it. Do they want us to get the priest or Brother Sands to help perform the
They
last
do not.
rite? Why not?
Are you asking them why not, Lloyd?
Yeah, basically.
There you go. Typed up for you already.
They say they have their own religious leaders here, so they will be fine. And it would be difficult for them to travel down here.
Is there a way for us to turn off the traps leading into this place so that we can get out safely?
Do you ask that, Lloyd? You can just say if you do or don't.
Yes, yeah. So they say before we leave. They say no. Oh. Anyone else got anything before we leave?
No.
I'm going to step up
What about
a
the
little
jam?
bit.
Did we ever figure out what's going on with that? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh,
interrupt.
right. That's also a good question.
What question?
The gem.
The jam.
Oh. Yeah, Lloyd didn't tell you about that, did he?
No.
Nope.
Well, that's up to
Hasn't
Lloyd
told
if he
us a lot.
does. Do you want to bring up? Ask Lloyd about the gem.
The bell was just a warning to ward off people from entering. It kind of had the opposite effect.
Yeah, they didn't really think that through, huh? I'm going to step up a little bit, like to here.
His eyes slip to you.
I'm going to point at myself. I'm going to say Valentin, and then I'm going to point at the creature and motion like questioningly.
He answers
Gonna
you. One moment. I just have to wait. There we are. So I was loading something into the game and it was taking a little bit. That's what he says, Lloyd, in Draconic.
Okay, what does it sound like to me?
A bunch of hissing.
Oh my god. Do
You
not
can translate
force-
it. You can translate it, Lloyd.
You know,
Lloyd,
I can't even say that myself. Like, Jesus, my dyslexia refuses to read.
You can
Oh.
drag the message into the chat bar and it'll pop up.
Does it?
Yep. Because I did that last time as you, and everyone saw it.
Yep, so if you drag the translation, there you go. No, the translation. Well, sorry, that's when Valtria tried to do it. Lloyd has to be the one to do it.
Yeah, I just tried to see what would happen if I did.
I'm dragging and it doesn't seem to do anything unless you're getting spammed with it, but...
Literally everyone else is able to do it, so you're doing
How is everyone else?
Do you know how to drag?
There we go.
There you go.
I did it for him.
Holy
I did it for him.
As I said, my dyslexia refuses to read that.
That's not even a dyslexic issue. What the fuck is that?
That's why I told you it just sounded like a bunch of hissing and teeth gnashing to you.
It's not that hard to say. Mian Kestelad.
Mian Kestelad. Okay, say the second name.
Loshem Blacresh.
Oh, yeah. I looked at just.
I want to know why I can't drag and drop translations now. Oh my god.
That's not that hard.
It's because I was dragging it to the chat, like, typing bar and not the actual chat.
Oh, nice.
Man, I mean... See, I really hope that you've just wanted to be mysterious this whole time and you just didn't think of, oh, I don't want to fucking pull this translation over to show everyone.
I would have loved if Rai had just, like, as Apo and chat suggests, given us a fake name. Oh yeah, his name is Steve?
Well, I guess that could be the Dragon Board equivalent of...
Can I make a history check on that name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh wow, you...
Remember that anytime that someone does a subscription or $5 on my Ko-Fi, you get to give a player of your choice an inspiration. Yeah, Lloyd. This guy was known in the past in the era of shaping as the Spellblade. He blended teachings of the god of war and the goddess of magic in order to seamlessly create a spell-slinging, sword-wielding kind of style of fighting that eventually evolved to be known as blade singing. But he is a very, very powerful figure from history. What's really interesting is that in the year 130, he just vanished. There were no longer any records of him, his deeds, or adventures. In addition as well, his comrades, which had a very unique name as they were servants of Brother Sand. They were known as the Warriors of Glass. Him and the 8 other powerful heroes from his group, all of which vanished at the year 130. They just stopped being recorded in history. There's a lot of scholaristic theories that they just retired, that they were killed, but Brother Sand hid all the bodies. All sorts of different stuff, but this guy is essentially a great hero from the past. Honestly...
Oh boy,
yeah, you grew up on stories of this guy. He's a master of the enchantment and evocation schools of magic.
And can I just double check so I don't have to go back and scroll through messages? But
yeah.
The current era is the era of glass, correct?
It is, yes, and no one knows why it's called the era of glass. In fact, there is I believe, a 1 million gold bounty on whoever can explain to the Church of 10 Virtues why the era is called the era of glass. No one knows. Just 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago when the country of Kadron was destroyed, and the country, the United Provinces of Ajin Shu, finally declared peace with each other, the diviners realized that the era had changed, but they didn't know why. They could only divine the name of the new era, not why it was called the Era of Glass. But, oh, would you look at that?
That is what I am doing.
Share with the party then. Talk to them.
I wouldn't say this out loud. But I will say to this guy, I was like, but before we leave, it's just like, you may be interested in knowing that the current era is known as the Era of Glass. Do you have any idea why?
What if we just become super famous, Rich?
Now see, this is why Valentin is so interested in all of history, because he's trying to figure out how to get that really big bounty.
Boys' night.
Wait.
Yeah.
Sarario wants in on boys' night.
Y'all thought that I really was just interested in history because of lore? Now I want that moolah. I don't give a shit about the lore, I give a shit about the money!
That would be me.
I'm bouncing Sarario like a baby.
But I burp a little bit.
You burp a little bit?
Yeah, because I'm getting bounced, you know, like a baby, so I'm like,
Why don't you swaddle her?
oh, please.
Swaddle up in blankets.
Swallow me, bottle me, drip down the side of me.
Oh, wait.
Serrario's head suddenly divides by half its size, and instead, all of that size goes to her left arm.
Oh, no.
As now she has normal she has itty bitty head, itty bitty body, and then one huge left arm.
Hey, guys, guess what I do with my big arm?
Arm wrestle.
Sure.
I bet it looks so small in this hand.
I will say I have done a bit of research on it, but it cannot accomplish the goal I seek, so I gave up on it.
And Lloyd didn't want to ask this creature's name. Now suddenly he's really interested.
Valentin is saying this out loud.
I mean, you can definitely tell from his facial expressions.
Yeah. You might as well be saying it.
If you know such a spell, I may be capable of performing it.
Lloyd, roll me a Knowledge Arcana if you wish to go ahead with what he's suggesting. We'll see if there is a ritual that you might know.
Can I give him my inspiration
to ask for this, but
you may.
Oh, I was going to use my own inspiration.
Oh, then you use your own then.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I keep mine.
I had it for so long and I've never used it.
No, boys' night.
So what do you say?
Boys' night tonight was me bringing up the point that you didn't ask for the creature's name, and now he's suddenly super interested in. That is boys' night.
Avoided a natural one. Lloyd, you do know a way of doing it, and I will share with you what you could do. You should see that item that has popped up. This is what you could do based on his suggestion.
You could have him come with us. It's like a little lantern. We just open it up.
So you're saying I would be able to make this?
You would be able to create this, yes.
Then I will offer it as a suggestion to him.
So,
oh my god, wait! We can literally have ourselves our own little... Oh fuck, what's the name? Shit, I forgot. The one that goes, hey, listen... Oh, Navi.
Navi.
We have our own Navi with us.
You'll have to give me a moment because I do need to look something up. I don't have the physical book anymore, which makes me really sad. And there is something regarding the creation of magic items I need to look up very quickly.
Yes, Wicked. It is a wondrous item, which is, you know... Whew.
Wondrous item doesn't mean rarity, it just means that it's not, like, that's the miscellaneous thing. It's not a weapon or something, is what wondrous item means. Its rarity is only rare, which is, common, uncommon, rare is how it goes. I just have to find something real quick.
Oh, so it's a blue item.
It's not in Tasha's, it's in, Xanathar's that I need to find. So you just have to give me a moment. I have to look up creation of magic items. See you, Geode. Have a nice night. Thank you for coming by. Chat, I'm sorry I can't pay attention to you super well. It's because I've only got the singular monitor that I'm working off of these days because I still can't afford hiring that lawyer, and God, it's just been difficult to figure out all the legalese stuff. But soon, I'll have that all looked after, I hope. Alright, here we are. This is what I needed. Where is the crafting rule? Here we are. So, Lloyd, the main problem is you don't think you have enough ingredients, like enough materials to make that perfectly. If there was a cleric of the forge or something around, you might be able to. But, unless you came up with something creative. Because the main thing when crafting an item is that you need an item ingredient. Meaning that you would need to defeat a CR of a certain level to get that ingredient. It doesn't need to be in a fight, it could be in a social thing or something like that. But for a rare item, you need to defeat a CR 9 minimum encounter generally.
Curiosity, what CR is this creature?
This encounter, well, this creature, let me just double check. He is a CR. Where is your CR, buddy? Challenge rating 8.
Oh, damn it.
Meaning that I will allow, Lloyd, if you do your ritual, you come up with the whole ritual, you roleplay it out heavily, you make use of all of the party, their abilities, and the resources at hand, I will allow you to have the full effect of owning a ghost lantern. Otherwise, I will be removing the falling unconscious within 10 feet of the lantern causes you to immediately stabilize. I'll be removing that aspect.
Hang on, where is party inventory?
So, we're going to take a short break while Rai comes up with his ritual.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a ritual to put a ghost into a lantern. So thank you guys so much for coming out so far. I hope that you've been enjoying my campaign. I love running Blood on the Sand. It's one of my favorite. And now the mysteries of this dungeon have been revealed, and players, I hope that you've enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have some good news.
And it only took asking the creature's fucking name! Fuck you, Lloyd!
It was a pretty...
I'm not going to let Villainton know that part.
Alright, thank you guys so much, and I've got good news too. My download for Darktide has finished, meaning that I will be playing the shit out of that tonight off stream because I want to have some time for me. So if anyone wants to play that with me, either if you're in the chat or if you're one of my players in the game, shoot me a message. We will play Darktide tonight.
What? Hold up.
If anyone?
If anyone?
Okay,
I'll get it.
Yep.
If anyone?
Yeah, it's free on Game Pass now. So if you had Game Pass on Xbox Game Pass, it is now free. They unlocked it today. No, we're just breaking, Donnie. We're gonna be back.
If you're
Now
playing
when I
on
have
Game
hard
Pass,
dibs.
can you crossplay with people on Steam?
Yes.
Oh, yes, good. I didn't actually know that.
I think so. I don't see why not.
Maybe?
Vermintide has good crossplay.
And we're back, everybody. So the players have come up with a super awesome scene that they've all pitched in equally on, I'm certain.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Rye, you are informed through Draconic that he intends to allow his warriors each to choose the choice if they end themselves, or if they wish to exist here in the tomb, or if they just leave. But he wants his soul placed in the lantern you've described. So this way he can travel with you still, and then potentially at least be somewhat involved in his own prophecy and destiny.
Clang Clang will pull the lantern from her bag.
I'm gonna ask him for his crown.
He hesitates, but then holds it out to you.
Okay. So I'm gonna proceed to give this crown and lantern to Valentin, as well as doing a quick sketch on some paper of a bunch of runes. And I'm gonna go, Valentin, I need you to somehow combine this crown into this lantern, as well as engrave in these runes just across the lantern.
Valentin looks at you, and then he flips his eye patch up, revealing his other eye, and he looks at you very incredulously.
I'm gonna say boys' night.
This
You
has
know
just become a secret word to get Valentin to do whatever you want.
You know I'm not actually magically inclined, right?
It's fine. We just need the craftsmanship, and you're the best crafter we've got.
I don't craft, I tinker.
Tinker, crafting, same thing.
Ooh, okay, we're gonna let that slide for now. I don't craft, I invent. There's two different things. If you wanted me to create something out of like a new invention, I could do it. I can't. I don't make things that already exist. Okay, let's see. Okay, so you want me to carve this?
Yeah, just like engrave it into the lantern's frame.
Okay. Right. I start taking out my tools, and I'm like, okay. I mean, none of my stuff is magical. If only I had a magical implement.
What do you need?
Well, I mean,
runes
like,
themselves
like
don't have
it-
to be magic.
Oh, you don't think so? Because I'm thinking that maybe we would need to carve it with something magical to, you know, give an easier path for magic to travel through it. So if I used something that was magical in order to, you know, etch into this the runes, then the magic would have an easier time traveling into the runes and staying there.
Man, if only you guys had something sharp that was also magical. Oh!
Sandra, Valentin needs to borrow your sword for a second.
Boys' night?
What do you need it to do?
I needed to carve something. Were you not listening to a single word I just said?
No, all I can hear is Wah!
That's a fair point. I
Just
can't
hand it
even
over.
imagine.
Hand it over. I don't even touch it.
I don't even know
Okay,
if I
then
can
let him
hold
touch
it.
Well, he
I
can
don't even
try.
know.
The
I-
blade
I-
hovers.
If you want to.
The blade hovers in front of your hand, Valentin menacingly, as you reach for it. You
Like
get
the
an
point is-
ominous.
Like that.
Yeah.
The point is
Hang on.
pointed towards him.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me roll the persuasion check on the sword if I can borrow it for a second.
The sword makes no response apart from in your head, Sandra. Wah!
Yeah,
Except-
just use...
Except it sounds more excited, Sandra, as if it's daring him to try it.
Just use the sword.
I'd be very careful if I were you. The sword is not quite so friendly. It's very excited.
Horny for violence.
For blood, mainly. But yes, violence will get you there as well. So you said there's like a deactivated mode where like you kind of just it stops moving, but it's still screaming in my head. But can I turn it to that?
Sure, go ahead and yell its command word. The sword, boom, collapses to the ground.
Sandra will pick it up and turn the handle towards, or like put the point down, holding it out towards Valentin.
The sword quivers in excitement.
Oh boy.
Sandra kind of
boy.
like holds it with like 2 fingers, so it's like dangling from her hand disgustedly. Yeah, have fun with that one.
I tried to touch the sword.
You
I don't want to hold
successfully
it yet.
touch the sword.
Okay, I'm gonna
It grows
just
bigger.
try. I'm gonna try to etch the runes into the lantern as per described by Lloyd.
Sure, how are you combining the crown with the lantern? That's another thing he'd asked you to do.
Oh, well, can you describe what the crown looks like?
Of course, the crown is a simple affair, more akin to a circlet, actually. It has, instead of, you know, the way that human crowns work, where you put it on top of your head and your ears kind of still hold it up, so does your forehead like a hat, this is instead a circlet band with a lot of interwoven smaller pieces of metal, followed by, near the front of it, draconic-like horns sticking up in thicker, twisted connections of metal. In the middle of the draconic horns is a slot where clearly the pearl that you guys stole is supposed to sit in.
Found.
I mean, you know it was belonged and owned by someone. I don't know how you can still say it's found.
This
Did we know
belongs in
it
a
was
museum.
That's like me
Belong?
saying,
It was
hey,
literally
I found...
just in a piece of rock.
I
How
found
does that
this
belong
door.
to?
If I walk down the street and I go, "Oh, hey, look at these numbers
can-
atop
no,
of
we
my
can-
neighbor's door." I found these.
We can have this discussion another time. I think River's wrong, and that's okay. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. But the pearl
They
that we
couldn't
have
keep it safe,
fits
so
in
we're
the
keeping
crown.
it safe for them.
Exactly.
It's like coming across
hang
an
on a
abandoned
minute.
building. The
Hang on a
building's
minute,
got no
Mike.
one living in it, so clearly it doesn't belong to anybody anymore. It's just
No,
a ramshackle building. You just take what you want.
To be fair, their plan was really stupid in the first place, because their idea was, if we leave out this jewelry outside our home, the robbers are not going to think there's going to be more jewelry inside.
Unless that jewelry back in their time could have been used as a warning or a threat.
Yeah, but not in our time. Doesn't matter what happened in the past.
You're such a zoomer, Valentin.
This is why they can't use the skull and crossbones for danger anymore. Because
Yeah.
people associate it with pirates and treasure.
Yeah, exactly. You can't use
Yeah.
that. Exactly. Gain an inspiration, Lloyd. That was a good analogy.
Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to first remove the bottom of the lantern. You know, because I assume it's like a hooded lantern or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hooded lantern.
It is a hooded
Yeah.
lantern.
So, I'll remove the bottom part where you would, you know, put normally you would put the candle or whatever, and I insert the circlet like around the bottom part, and then I put the bottom back onto it, so it like kind of basically instead of a head, the circle is now around the lantern. And then I'll put the circlet so it's front facing, where you would have the, you know, hood of the lantern where the light would shine out of. And then I just kind of neatly screw it back together. I don't know if I can actually, you know, meld them together in any way, but I'll make them as part of the lantern as much as possible.
If you want to weld them, describe how you would do so. There's definitely ways to do so. You have a fire mage in the party. There's torches all around, and you could even say that your kit has some kind of heat sources within it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll say what I probably have is some sort of stick of tin or something, and so I melt it over a flame, either using the help of my party members or by just using a tinderbox to light a. Well, there's magical torches around. I'll just go over to a torch, I guess. Hopefully not being stabbed 6 times as I go up to one.
No, the soldiers now are mostly just at ease, vibing. They're condemned that this whole thing's a shit show and that they've basically doomed their immortal souls forever for no reason.
And they're very chill about it.
Well, they're mostly... Well, yeah, they are, because as it was explained to Lloyd, becoming undead means that they had to sacrifice all of their emotions and empathy, which is why they would eventually start doing evil things, because they only have access to the cold logic of the undead. Meaning, the most enthusiasm for everything being ruined that they can rouse is...
Well, either way, I use the flames of the torches to melt whatever metal I have, easy metal, and I meld the back part of the circlet into the lantern, so that it could possibly be removed again, but it still stays in place. And then, I'll put the bottom back part onto it again. And then I start etching the runes that Lloyd has shown me into the sides.
The work is eventually done, Lloyd, and you have a crowned lantern.
Lantern?
Yeah, I keep hearing that too. Lantern.
I'm gonna hand it to Serario, and I'm gonna... Go. Are you able to channel your magical energies into this lantern?
Which hand do you give it to her in?
My left arm is really large, right? Or normal. The rest of me is small.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, how big is the left arm? But it's normal sized. I will probably give it to the normal sized arm.
Serario, as you take the lantern, there's a bzzz, as you get electrocuted for a moment. Your whole body is like on end. Your hair puffs out into a huge, comical as a huge surge of energy passes through your body, and everything returns to normal as you do give the lantern a decent charge. But please describe how you continue on top of that, as the lantern just essentially worked as a grounding item for you. You're entirely back to normal.
Okay, Serario has the lantern and goes through her electrocution, and she's like, woof, great gravy! I'm back to normal, thank God. Okay. So, Lloyd, you want me to try and use some magic to try and get these, get this kind of going, right?
Yeah, just channel your magical energy in there until the lantern's, like, fully charged. It seems to have already taken some from you.
Yes, it did great good. It was painful, but did great good. Okay, so we'll start by rubbing, like, the, Serario takes her hand and starts rubbing over the lamp and kind of looking at it a little bit. And she takes it up to her ear and looks at you guys and then starts whispering to it. And all you can hear is, pss, 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 but it starts lighting up, and then she kind of hits, and it starts lighting up some more. And she's like, I think the magic's working. What do you think, Lloyd? Is it looking good? Do we need more? I can whisper more, rub it some more.
No, all
Just
of her...
keep going.
Okay, keep going, apparently, sure.
Oh, okay. It needs more. Okay, I want to step away from you guys because I think it's shy. So we're gonna go in the corner and we're just going.
Your
and then
If it wasn't shy before, it's definitely shy now.
No, it's shy because you're watching, so I have to take it to the corner.
The lantern starts to blush.
All the whispering and rubbing eventually.
It starts to glow a lot, and then it's so bright I can barely look at it. Except I look at Lloyd, I'm like, how about now?
That should be good.
Okay.
Just keep holding on to it for a second.
Okay,
The lantern
I'll
has a
hold it.
sensor bar over it.
It's making it a Hago face.
Oh god. We don't need to
Sandra,
sexualize this lantern.
You have some expertise on death and souls, right?
Well, yes, I have some. I spent a lot of time studying death and what happens to the soul afterwards, but I never completed my research and I still have a lot to learn. Why?
Do you know any way to remove a soul from a body, and even if just briefly?
Yeah, it's called killing
Yes.
someone.
Yes, I do know how to remove a soul from a body. But I'm not sure where to. My research never involves putting that soul somewhere else. We never researched that. We only researched what happened to the soul afterwards on its own. This thing that I do, I partially take a bit of a soul into my body, and that's how I'm able to bolster myself. But I've never been able to do it with a full soul. I don't know if that's possible, to hold two souls in one body.
I mean, what if you simultaneously intake and output the soul that you are attempting to intake? You're using your body as a conduit to redirect it.
I've never
You're not
tried
fully taking in the whole
to.
soul.
Well,
What if...
I have yet to try removing that part of the soul as I take it in. And it usually fades with its own time. But maybe I could figure it out. I'm not sure I could do it on my first try, that's for sure. What if I kid? You want me to kiss Daddy? I mean, I don't. Well,
They do
maybe
call
I
it
could kiss Daddy.
Don't they call it the kiss of death?
It is.
What if you sucked his soul out from his mouth and then you just blew it out into the lantern?
Hot.
I don't know a whole lot about, death magic, but it sounds like something that would work really well in a novel.
I mean, it sounds good, but a lot of the things that we thought would work during my research didn't end up working. I still don't know exactly how I do what I do. I only recently was able to successfully do it. We tried it for many months.
Well, what if you just, started snogging and you just really took a deep breath while doing it? What if you sucked out his soul that way? If you just focused really hard on it?
I volunteer as a, try.
No, we don't need you to die. I think you missed the point of this whole ritual.
I heard snogging.
We could ask if one of the guards would be willing to be a test subject to see if you could sort of remove their soul and just sort of eject it out of your body. Is that what
River, is there any way
rest,
that I can
right?
check based off of my previous research and sort of thing to determine if this is something that I could do? Because, sure, I could just make it up, and I don't know how much of that you want me to just... How much freedom do I have with
Go ahead and roll me something for it.
I have my previous notes in my research. Is it...
Previous notes in your research.
Medicine, I would assume, is what it would be based
I'll
on.
allow medicine, yeah.
Because
Because your int's terrible. I'll allow medicine.
No!
Oh no! Why didn't you use your inspiration?
I don't have one.
Oh shit! If you had said anything, I would have let you have mine. Oh man.
Wow, that's the worst.
So... Oh boy. Oh, I hate what I've come up with, but...
Oh no.
You remember how, like, that kiss suggestion happened, right, Zandra?
Yeah.
You're pretty sure that that would work, but it has to come from a different pair of lips. You're gonna have to go ass to mouth.
Oh no.
Ass to mouth?
Ass to mouth.
So I have to suck it out of his butthole?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Well, that is
Yeah, that's a different kind of kiss of death, though, if you really think about it.
that is, if you think about it, it is the same type of tissue that is around the lips.
That's not what I was thinking about. She's sucking something out of his booty hole. I'm pretty sure I would rather die.
Oh no, I think she's lucky.
Sarah, again. I volunteer. I would like to help.
So, yeah, Sandra, to do it that way, you're gonna have to go ass to mouth on this. And as a note, although he looks like a normal Dragonborn right now because of a spell he's cast, that butthole is gonna be dusty as shit.
You know what? That's probably better. The less juicy it is, the less bad it's gonna be.
I don't know.
Plus size, he hasn't
Well,
eaten anything in 1500 years.
Exactly.
Can anybody? Because this is just based off of my notes and my previous research. I have my notebook with me. Look, I've spent a lot of time researching this, but I'm not, to be honest, not exactly honest. I was never the researcher. I was always assistant to other tasks that we needed. Would you like to read it as well?
Please make it so I don't have to kiss him on the butthole.
Please,
Anybody,
exactly.
please help me.
Anybody like to make a guess?
I
Provide input.
I will
Please,
take
for the
a
love of
read.
God, don't make me suck a turd out of his butthole.
Valent is gonna aid Lloyd in reading the notes, and Valent is gonna be, Zandra, you held the notes upside down. That's why.
Can I also provide aid? Since it's my notes?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't have to roll or anything to provide aid, right?
Nope.
Okay, cool, I provide aid. Provide
guess I
clarification
roll
on any questions
Arcana?
and whatnot.
I'll allow
Medicine or
whatever
Arcana?
roll, but if you nat one
I
again,
would roll-
I'm
I
going
would
to
roll
make this
religion.
worse.
I would roll a religion check because it's about souls, not about magic as much. Personally.
Okay, I'll do religion then. They're the same anyway.
And you
but...
get advantage, right? So just don't.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Just don't double one,
and then
please.
double ask me what question you would. If it's a double, holy
God, you're
shit!
double
Holy shit! So at first, Lloyd, you're like.
When I saw, I was scared.
So at first, Lloyd,
the
you're
first
like.
First time you were reading
It's
through the book and you're like,
butthole.
you know what?
That's a
No wonder
booty
this
hole.
doesn't make sense. And you flip the book over so it's right side up.
Ha! I was gonna make the exact same joke, Sandra. I was gonna be like, huh, at first you're like, oh yeah, it does make sense, the butthole, and then you realize that all the diagrams are upside down, and you go, oh!
Muted? Have I been muted this entire time? I made that joke ages ago.
Yeah, you
Oh,
were
I'm
muted.
stealing.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm actually playing off because I read it upside down, right? And I'm saying because he rolled a nat 1 and dropped it, the nat 1 he dropped was him also reading it upside down, and then he dropped it by flipping the book over and reading it the right side up.
Yep. Alright, what exact question did you have for me here? Hello?
Right?
Suck soul out
The
of
question
body.
was, yeah, how to remove a soul from the body.
By kiss of death.
Like, obviously, historically, certain gods have removed souls and put in objects and all of that, so there must be a way of doing it.
So yes, there is, and Zandra's notes do go over the process in whatever way that you want them to go over, Zandra. Really, this is again kind of a your thing. These are rituals that you'd looked into, but you'd never really succeeded on, mostly because you didn't have the personnel. But right now, Zandra, you have a skilled, tinkerer, a knowledgeable wizard who understands necromancy, a wild magic sorcerer capable of being a human battery. You have a religious expert as well, meaning that you might be able to make some of your theories in your notebook work. So go ahead and try out one of your theories and see if it works or not.
So, our theories... We were looking... So Zandra will also look to Deirdre and to Sarah, who both would know very innately about the stigmatas of Ravios and how they determine the class based off of what your stigmata is. Our theories were that perhaps the soul does not return to another body in the next life, as many of our, or as the hierarchy in Ravia suggests, and perhaps it goes elsewhere, and we were attempting to trace whatever signature a soul could give off and see where it went after somebody died. We attempted siphoning the soul into different objects, and eventually led to the idea of siphoning the soul into another living human. And that's where my ability came from. It's possible to siphon the soul into another body. It's not easily identifiable how. It seems to be a different process for whatever container you wish to put the soul into. I know that I need to be very close to a creature when it dies, like inches at the very least, and I need to be in contact with them. So I could potentially siphon his soul into me if I was incredibly close. I'm not.
I have a
kind of like starts sweating and.
I have a question.
We only attempted to do things like this a couple times, but I think we'd never had any willing participants on one end.
You have an like innate power yourself, right? But the way you use your fists when you fight, sort of powered by your own soul or something, correct?
You could say that. It has to do a lot with my meditation and ki.
So perhaps if you meditate together with the target that you're trying to remove the soul from, you then use, I suppose, that same innate power to siphon it while you're next to each other. It can be a, sort of safer option than beating the shit out of someone and watching them die in front of you. So you could do it perhaps in a more peaceful way. Right, but I'm saying
determined is that the body needs to expire.
Right, but what I'm saying is perhaps there is a way to do it for a longer, like making the process take longer by siphoning it out slowly, so that it's a more peaceful solution rather than a violent one. Basically, I'm saying maybe you kill them.
There's no harm in trying, but I just want you to know we never succeeded in removing the soul from a body. The body itself began the process of dying.
There's a first time for everything.
There is a first time for everything. Like I said, there's no harm in die.
Also, technically, this man is.
If well, I guess you're right. We never did try with an undead. Maybe it's easier to remove the soul from an undead creature than. a full living creature. I guess we could give
Do
it a shot.
undeads have soul?
I would assume so, considering there's still a living body.
Yeah,
living identity inside that creature. Same
It's
as
actually
it was
not
before.
a soul anymore. Your notes would know this, Val.
Oh, okay.
What it is that the process of becoming undead separates the soul from the mind. Essentially, there's four aspects of a body: physical, soul, magical, and your mental self. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
When you die, your soul leaves to go to the afterlife. No matter what, that happens. If you become undead, you're resurrecting the brain and the magical. So you lose your empathy, your emotion, aspects of your soul, your ambitions, things like that. And what's left behind is cold logic and intelligence.
Well, then, okay, so maybe just for clarification, then, I have just been kind of making it up as I go. What's it called? You know what I called, right? What's it called?
Improv.
Improv. Yeah, I've been just improving. So, would I be incorrect to say that I intake a piece of the soul into my body when
No.
I kill someone?
No.
Oh,
No, you do. You are stealing a piece of that energy.
Okay, so then, if that's the case, then my notes would suggest that it is impossible for me to intake a piece of the undead because I usually intake a piece of the soul, and if there's no cell on an undead, there's nothing for me to intake there.
Yeah.
But you could take some other energy, perhaps.
Yep, you take the other energy, which is the mental energy. That's what you'd be moving here. You're essentially transferring not the soul, but only the mind.
Maybe, okay, well then my notes suggest that my notes say that we have only ever succeeded in. So there must be a different process that I've not tried yet in moving the mind. I do not currently have that knowledge then.
Well then, make up that knowledge as you go.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm not exactly... I was not the scientist in these...
Can I make Arcana check on the creation of undead, of how the mind is bound when the soul can't be?
Of course, yeah.
Is that this necromancy is commonly binding the mind? It should be easier than the soul.
Yep.
Hey, Zandra, if you don't mind me saying, I don't know anything about how you perceive your own, intellect, but perhaps there is some sort of part of your mental state that you can use instead. There is more than just cold hard logic. Perhaps you can just use your intuition instead.
So, yeah.
Right. I was one of the few that was able to do this imbibing of the soul, as it were. I suppose you're right. There is more to it than just hard logic.
You're taking his cold hard logic, the logical energy. Perhaps you just
Can I roll an insight on this?
Sure.
Would anyone like to assist me on this?
But as a note, you don't super. You can kind of go and improvise and come up with something. This is a chance for the party to be creative and come up with stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will be creative and I just could you
Wait,
just kind of give me
no. Valentin has a brain surge, and this is how I'm giving you the advantage on this check. It's because you are empty of intellect that you can take his intellect into yours and put that intellect into the lantern.
There's enough space.
Not a bad idea.
I love it.
But head empty, fill it with something.
So you don't even need to give me advantage on that. Yeah, I suppose maybe.
Why do you meditate to empty your mind?
That's actually kind of rude, but brilliant at the same time. Perhaps if we meditate and I clear my mind, he could dump his intellect into me, and then I could dump it into the lantern.
Meanwhile, Wah!
Oh God! And as you say that, it's like, oh no. Oh God. It never ceases, and she like picks up the sword and starts smacking it on the ground. Fuck you! Stop screaming! My brain! I do like your idea, and it is very brilliant, but I seem to have been cursed with this god-awful sword. I don't know if I could clear my mind well enough to take his intelligence with this thing screaming non-stop.
Well, it seems like it's a battle of wits then.
If I was able to give you a mindless vessel, do you think you'd be able to transfer it that way?
It wouldn't be up to me, then it would be up to the mindless vessel. Yes. Whenever I transfer the soul, I can't just move it wherever I want to. I have to pull it. It feels like when I'm moving the soul, I am pulling it into me. There's no I can't just take it and put it wherever I want. We never were able to do that. Every time we moved a piece of the soul, it had to be directly done by the creature or the item. You can do it with different processes, but the item itself has to pull it into it. So this whole idea of bringing it into myself and moving it is still very foreign to me. It's possible, but I apologize. Our research never made it that far, so I can't really give you definitive answers.
What if you don't actually take it into yourself? What if you just extract the energy and then keep it in your hands, and then inject that energy into the lantern instead?
With your knowledge of medicine too, Xander, you have a realization suddenly that perhaps it could work something more akin to when you're sucking the venom out of a wound, where it's in your mouth for a moment and then you just spit it out without actually swallowing it and then needing to transfer it.
Sandra kind of just shakes her head. I just thought of something. Perhaps similar to how I suck up the soul. Instead of inhaling it completely, I just suck it into my mouth. Perhaps hold the energy there before spitting it back into the lantern.
Kinky.
Perhaps not worded in a way that makes it sound like you're spitting the soul out. I don't know how.
I open my mouth and let it ooze out. Play with it a little, you know?
Oh God, you just dribble it into the lantern.
She spits it back into the lantern's mouth.
It's a good thing the creature can't understand us.
She takes a big old sippy of his soul and then just spits it back into the Dragonborn's mouth.
Although that would mean that I'd have to lay my lips on this Dragonborn many times. I've completely sucked this in out and released it into...
Do you need to put your lips to it? Can't you just use
On
your
the butthole.
hands?
No. The hands don't work. You got a problem with kisses?
No, I'm just...
I don't have to kiss him directly, but I have to very much be very much in contact with him.
Okay. Good luck.
And it is all through the, as far as we've been able to tell that it's, at least it's with the mouth, as far as I'm aware. All of our experiments, the mouth was worked.
Well, good luck then.
I'll be on standby for medical assistance.
River, so would Zonder think that there's any issue with one, since she's not moving the soul, she's moving the intellect?
Yep.
Would moving this intellect the same way she moves the soul work?
Yep,
Or
should
would
be
she
fine.
have... Okay, should work? Okay.
But you're just not entirely convinced that it doesn't need to be from the butthole yet.
Not yet, okay.
I think River just really wants to see you.
She just wants to see me.
Well, you never got an ass to
We
mouth
have-
before, Val?
No, I have.
We
I
haven't
have
even-
actually. Do
we
you want me?
haven't-
Do you want me to be?
We haven't even asked the
Okay.
creature
Yeah,
for his
let's just do
consent
let's
about
keep
this.
this let's keep this whole soul ball rolling. We've been hemming and hawing for too long.
All right, fine. I guess Lloyd, you'll have to do it for me and tell it that I'm going to suck the intellect out of it through its mouth, deliver it into the lantern.
What?
Sandra will cautiously step forward and sit, like, we'll go into her meditative position on the floor, and she will say, I'm going to meditate. Just make sure you've got the lantern close by and that he's ready. Sit next to me. Let me do what I need to do. And I will do my very best to clear this screaming.
Deirdre, once the soul's in the lantern, are you able to, like, bless it to sort of seal it in?
I've been prepping a blessing as we speak.
As she knew what you were gonna ask.
Yeah. Do not question my ways and my knowledge, for I questioned it once and then I had many other questions and I got stuck in a circle jerk of questioning myself. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, I have a blessing prepped.
Some butthole
A
slurping.
circle jerk of
What's-
questioning yourself?
Yeah.
What's the blessing?
Hold on, Lloyd, have
I-
you explained to him that he needs to kiss her?
Not yet.
Okay, let me know when you do.
I looked up what languages people kind of pictured Orcish to be the most similar to, and I got a lot of Celtic and Irish, so I looked up how to say the Irish blessing in Gaelic, and I'm gonna try to do that. But
Okay.
It's not gonna be perfect.
Sandra, when she goes to meditate, when she sits down, she takes her hood and she pulls it back off of her head, more revealing her face, and like brushes her hair back out of her face, and like tucks it behind her ears.
It's a lipstick.
No, she doesn't. No.
She takes out like a breath
She makes
mint.
the kissy face.
Takes out a breath mint, you know.
No, she does that, and she sits down and puts her hands in her lap, tucking one hand into the other, and she's got her her legs crossed, and she's sitting upright, back straight, and she just begins to breathe in and out very, very slowly with her eyes closed.
Bit of mood music playing with the ever-present wah in the background.
the screaming wah 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 wah.
Sorry,
Sandra begins to attempt to tune out the screaming in her mind. She has had lots of training in meditation and has learned to tune out everything outside of her mind, and usually her mind. However, she usually doesn't have something screaming directly at her in her mind. So this will be new, but she has lots of training in tuning out sounds. Perhaps she can do it.
Yes, you can. You manage to, utilizing your expert training, tune out the ever-present battle cry in your brain.
However, she tunes out pretty much all sound, so if
You shit out of luck if you wanted to talk
she will
to her.
literally tune out everything. She doesn't hear anything that you guys are doing.
I'm gonna explain what needs to be done to the dragon at the time. And
He responds with that.
do you want your soul, mind transferred or not? What's more important, your marriage or your prophecy?
I see.
Mate, she's been dead for years.
Shut the fuck up.
And Lloyd's like, no, I understand completely.
Not that we can do right now. And while saying this, I'm going to take out my bag of sand and begin sort of making a circle around Sandra and where the guy needs to sit. as well as various runes associated with Brother Sand.
Did we ask for permission for their weapons yet? Or any materials that might aid us in fighting whatever thing might be coming, because they can't fight it. So maybe we can try to fight it for them, just in case this, whatever prophesized thing that they were supposed to fight actually does come.
You want to bring this up? You want to bring this up now after we've basically said, "Oh yeah, she's gonna kiss you." By the way.
Yeah, but like, no, that was something we would have talked about before this whole process probably started, because we talked about asking for permission, but we never actually acted it out or went through it.
That's true. We did go on break before we did that.
He has a say to the guy, please hurry.
Alright, he agrees. And he walks forward to Zandra.
And, Sarario, you need to take the lantern over to Zandra.
I walk up to Zandra and look at them very jealously.
Soraria's a scaly. We've solved the puzzle.
You do know that he's like actually, you know, a rotting corpse basically.
Which one am I jealous
okay,
of?
a scaly and a necrophilia.
Oh, that's oh god. That is not a thought I needed to be pondering right now.
And as this is going on, tell Deirdre to get ready to perform the blessing once the mind's fully been transferred.
Right. I'll be on standby.
Go ahead, describe what happens, Zandra.
Sandra opens her eyes and looks at. Where was it? Scroll up, scroll up. Young Kestelad. She looks at him and she will lean forward towards him, like halfway. And she will like raise her hands and kind of give like a beckoning motion.
He follows.
She gets within just an inch of his mouth. And she very slowly does a very, very deep but sharp breath in. And as she does that deep breath in, her eyes would turn black, and you see just a little bit of hard to see but slightly perceptible essence go from him to her, and she would then turn slowly and without completely without taking a breath out, she turns to the lantern and finally pushes the essence into the opening of the lantern.
There's a push as this happens. First off, kissing the spell blade is like licking the very, very bottom of a well-used furnace. There's a heat there deep down under layers of coldness and ash. It tastes terrible. And you take that heat outside of the body, leaving it cold as the undead crumbles to the ground, immediately its former body becoming ashen. You then blow into the lantern, and you can see a small draconic worm, a baby dragonborn, curl around the wick before lighting it in a deep blue flame, the similar color to what his scales were.
And as Sandra finishes breathing that out, she will, her whole body will like shiver, as if like going through like a chill, like as her body got really cold suddenly. And as after she's done, she will quickly stand up and like shuffle away from it, kind of like she's been punched or dazed. And she'll kind of like wrap her arms around herself and shiver, and her face is aghast with what she felt while his intellect was within her. And she'll look to you guys, and it's done. Seal it quickly.
Undyne, I just answered you.
Okay. Deirdre looks to Lloyd for confirmation.
I nod.
Okay. Gnyarion boaliat.
Oh, Jesus.
Grongwi gubrach idukul. Golnonri on green gusher dai. Gudicht ho aun wastuk. Gunmin erdufarkena. Agus gumuldi di mich. Lechele arish. Gugwini gie imus eloe veho. But instead of Gugwini, she says Brother Sand. And that seals the blessing.
A thin layer of sand begins to coalesce over the top of the lantern before slowly pouring out of the bottom like a curtain. In addition to the other magical effects, the lantern has the cosmetic effect of always having sand pouring off of the very bottom of it, out of that crown that Valentin welded in. And with that, the ritual is sealed. The spell blade is now an item called a ghost lantern, and it is in the party inventory for anyone to take. Whoever assigns it to them right now, I consider you are the one that is attuned to it. The magic properties of this item is that you can command the spirit as a bonus action to shed bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for another 30-foot. While holding the lantern, and it's all written actually on this too, so you don't need to write this down. This is one that's I've already written and set up.
Okay.
When holding the lantern, you can use an action to order the spirit to leave the lantern and duplicate the effects of the Mage Hand spell. It returns to the lantern when the spell ends. If you fall unconscious within 10 feet of the lantern, the spirit emerges from it, magically stabilizes you with a touch, and then quickly returns to the lantern. The spirit is bound to the lantern. It cannot be harmed, turned, or raised from the dead. Casting a dispel, evil and good spell on the lantern releases the spirit to the afterlife and renders the lantern non-magical.
Well, my initial thought is
a general look of the lantern.
Someone that someone that doesn't have night vision should probably have it, just so they have another light source.
I think I'm the only one without night vision.
Yeah. My other thought is someone without a whole lot of magical means, which would have been, giving another voice for Zandra to deal with, or...
Yeah, just drive me insane. Put multiple voices in.
Yeah.
But I do think Lloyd is the only one that could potentially communicate with the spirit, so I think it just makes sense. And is this an attunable item?
It is an attunable item.
So, yeah, I guess if needed, we can always just, attune it to someone else, because I don't think it's a cursed item, right?
It is likely not a cursed item yet.
Yet.
The moment Xandra touches it, it becomes a cursed item.
I'm
cursed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. With that, the other undead soldiers here have let you know that they plan on... Some of them play... Oh, a stretch, thank you. Oh, shit, a raid! Oh, fuck, I'm so sorry, I didn't even notice. God damn it, thank you so much. I have to get a second monitor for sure. Thank you guys so much for coming out. If you don't know, I'm River, your bardic dancer VTuber. We're currently running a VTuber D&D game, Blood on the Sand. In the party, we're conducting a ritual to bring an undead warrior that they had found and accidentally woken up before his prophesied time into a lantern so they could carry him around as an item and he could still see as they fulfill his destiny that they kind of robbed from him by raiding his tomb. But they've now got him into it. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to acknowledge you, raiders. I don't have 2 monitors right now. This move has been a nightmare, so it's hard for me to keep track of stream stuff while I'm DMing. As I was saying, the rest of the Undead Warriors have let you know that they plan on individually deciding whether or not they're going to stay down here for all of eternity, whether or not they are going to end themselves, or whether or not they are going to try to leave the tomb. But they will decide that as individuals.
Maybe instead of ending it with exiting the tomb, we should end it after end it here so that we can look through whatever other items that we're going to be taking as well. Because we were granted permission to do that before we leave.
You were not granted permission to do that.
We were not granted permission.
What? I thought he said yes! Ah!
No one asked.
No!
Yeah, we just because we talked about it during the break, we did
to stop us.
Yeah, we
I mean,
just
hey, I think we should deal with it next session anyway, because perhaps there's a way we want to, interact with the other soldiers ahead of time, but we might want to do it next session instead of, wrapping it up early and missing out on whatever we wanted to do. So.
Then, thank you so much for everybody coming by. Do remember that if you want to support me, the best place to do so is right there. Donating on the Ko-Fi, I get the majority of that money, and I get it immediately, which is always great. So it is the best way to support. If you liked any of the content, if you just wanted to tip because you thought something was cool, best way to do so. And when I see people tipping after a session, I go, oh, okay, I need to include more stuff like that session went. So it's the best way to give your feedback. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it for tonight. I'm going to go play some Dark Tide, and we're going to end the stream now. So we're going to raid another great content creator, so please stay tuned for a little while longer, chat. Don't go anywhere, so this way you can see another great creator. And thank you so much for the raid, Leet. I'm so sorry that I didn't notice it until now. I really need to get sound alerts going again, and I need to get a second monitor so I can pay attention to that. But there's a lot of stuff I have to rebuy, and a bed's kind of first. All right, let's see who's active. Then we'll raid someone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Valentin. Oh, one more thing as well too. If you wanted to follow the amazing cast, these are all of the cast members of Blood on the Sands. They're all excellent VTubers. And yeah, you should check them out. Looks like we got a lot of people rating, like rateable. So as always, we're gonna roll a dice and I'll decide who we do.
Who we do?
Who we do? Yeah. That's how I decide who I do real life. I just roll a dice. 1, 2,
No, we're going to decide who we do.
6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are we doing like a
lot of
1d6?
stuff I have to
Who
rebuy
who gets
a bed's
What?
kind of.
Whoa.
Thank you, Val, for saying the quiet part loudly.
You're welcome.
16. We got number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is Platinum Lily. We're going to be rating her tonight. All right, everybody. You all make sure to have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next time tomorrow with Stolen Valor. So tune in. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.